Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
The Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network, featured on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2. Happy Monday, everyone. Thanks so much for kicking off your week with us right here on Woodward Sports. You guys, we don't have any Lions to really talk today. We had a bye week. It was wonderful. Boys, what did you do? What games did you watch?
I watched everything. Yeah. Honestly, I saw a lot of memes going out on social media over the weekend, like, I needed this break from the Detroit Lions.
I actually did.
Everybody was, extremely dramatic. But I got to say, it was nice to have a weekend.
You feel a lot happier.
Yeah, it's it's good for your, mental health.
Mental health weekend.
When you start the season 0-8, the way the Lions did, the ups and downs and the loss after loss after loss, it is damaging a little bit. People won't admit it. And then you get a bye week, and you just, you take time to self-reflect.
Watch some Wings, the Red Wings, 2-0.
Lucas Raymond looked like a goddamn stud. You watch some football games on the weekend, college football, NFL Sunday. It was great.
OH!
A lot of stuff to go through today.
Yes.
But I got to say, I think the bye week was really good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mental health-wise, honestly. A lot of people were talked off a ledge this weekend because the Lions didn't play football.
Yeah, no, I get that. But speaking of things that people are maybe a little bit on the ledge about, Michigan State and Michigan fans are going absolutely ape you-know-what right now. State was upset by Purdue, which this is what Purdue does. Let us not forget. They took down a number 2 Iowa at the time. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't honestly that surprised by it at all. But now Michigan fans are cheering that MSU lost, which is so stupid in my opinion. But Adam, I see your face. Give me your thoughts on this.
Look, I'm going to be very honest right now. And I think, again, it's easier for me to say because neither school is an alma mater for me. I could care less. But Michigan fans and Michigan State fans should both chill the hell out. Didn't we sit up here on Friday, or even Monday of last week, and we talked about Michigan and Michigan State fans, their reactions, what's ahead of you? Michigan fans, from our perspective, should be calm, go handle business against Indiana, go beat Penn State, go beat Maryland on the road, and if you do that, destiny is in front of you. Ohio State, 10-1, entering the last game of the year. You can decide whether or not you could potentially be playing in Indianapolis. The same thing applies to Michigan State. Their downfall, unfortunately, was they could only afford technically one loss, and that would have been to Ohio State. And then if Michigan would have beaten Ohio State, the head-to-heads, I'm not sure how it all would have worked, but everyone needs to chill the hell out. And Michigan fans should shut the hell up. You were 4 points worse than this Michigan State football team. I don't get it. You're happy that they lost to Purdue, who upset the number 2 Iowa and now upset the number 3 Michigan State. I get it. Fan bases banter.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make you or your football team any better. Michigan State losing to Purdue? Welcome to college football. Nobody, if ever, rarely happens in the Big Ten outside Ohio State, runs the table in the Big Ten. Losses are available for every team this year, and it's happened for the last 10, 15, 20 years. The losses are always there. Now, can Michigan State recover? Big game now against Ohio State, then Penn State. They have a tough upcoming schedule, but welcome to the Big Ten. This is why I like a one-loss Michigan State team, a one-loss Michigan team over a lot of these teams right now in the bubble outside of the top 8, top 10. You got to play somebody. And if Purdue beat Michigan State, which they did, well, you know what? Kudos to Purdue. They're 6-3. They should be ranked in the top 25 after that win. Impressive win. And you move on. But Michigan right now, your only hope is for you to take care of business and shut the hell up. If you can walk into Ann Arbor 10-1 and you can somehow beat Ohio State and move on to 11-1, well, there's a really good chance that you're playing in Indianapolis and you're making a college football playoff appearance likely.
Yeah.
But you still have to go on the road and beat Penn State. You haven't been able to beat ranked teams on the road. You have to go and beat Maryland on the road. And then you get to come back home and play Ohio State, a team that you haven't beaten ever under Harbaugh. So how about pump the brakes a little bit, Michigan fans? I get it. You're happy they lost. It opens up your field to play on how to get to Indianapolis. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of things that could happen. I could name you a ton of scenarios that could play out. That benefit Michigan and Michigan State. If State wins this weekend, but then they lose to Penn State, but Michigan beats Penn State and then lose to Ohio State, I mean, so many things can still happen. Yeah. There's so many outcomes on the table that I think both fan bases need to chill out. The loss to Purdue, it's a loss, yes. Is it a bad loss? To an extent, yes. But Michigan has a good loss. It's against a good Michigan State team. Where's the problem here? Am I missing something?
No, you're not missing anything. And the more important thing is, for Michigan fans, I think they're probably more stressed out than State fans. I mean, State fans understand the fact that, a lot of people understood that Purdue pass-heavy offense and MSU secondary has been exposed, parts of this season so far. So they've shown to be fragile. And you have a guy for Purdue and Aiden O'Connell who threw for 536 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, they passed the ball, man. And Michigan State, their secondary just couldn't keep up. I think that was really the main thing. I mean, they were missing Jalen Naylor. He was out. He left early with the Michigan game. He had the cast on his wrist, and he wasn't available for this game. They were heavy relying on Jaden Reed, and so it really comes down to they weren't 100% healthy, and their secondary has been shown against better teams. Like, this is what worries me about State, and I said this. They're going to play Penn State and they're going to play Ohio State. I sat up here and I said even a week ago, I don't know if they can beat both those teams, because as much as I love State, we can all mutually agree they are overachieving this year greatly. They beat Michigan, which was probably their biggest check mark of the entire season. I mean, if they beat Ohio State, that's one hell of an accomplishment. But more importantly, they beat Michigan. They got the job done. Mel Tucker, he's solidified in East Lansing. Now you lose to Purdue. Now you're 8-1. It's no big deal, man. I mean, this is a loss, and you expected them for them to go undefeated all the way into the Penn State game and the Ohio State game. If they have 2 losses on their record, that's incredibly overachieving, especially for Mel Tucker. So I'm not surprised. I am surprised, how competitive they kept it. Michigan State was able to score pretty much in every quarter. They missed the extra points early on the board, but they just couldn't stop Purdue in their pass offense, and that's really what it came down to. I mean, it's Michigan fans are preying on these losses, and I get it, but is it right?
They shouldn't talk right now because you have the same record and they beat you head-to-head. So shut up.
And you got Penn State next week for Michigan. It's tough,
Big games coming up. Michigan go on the road to Penn State. Michigan State play Ohio State. Yeah. There's a ton of big games coming up. But I don't think it was that Purdue exposed Michigan State. If anything, Cade McNamara, who has been god-awful 8 of the 9 games for Michigan this year, went off against Michigan State.
Well, right. That was almost like it was hinting at it a little bit.
It showed you that, oh, wait, there are deficiencies here.
Yeah.
And Purdue, let's be honest, they have the wide receiving core to take advantage of the secondary. That was a big concern, which is why there was so much money on Purdue on the upset and why the game was so close in Vegas. They knew. And Purdue came out and they exposed Michigan State's secondary. And that's the reality.
Yeah.
Is there something I'm completely forgetting about? I don't think so. Michigan State secondary is a weakness.
Yeah.
If Cade McNamara could torch them, my goodness, C.J. Stroud and even Penn State are going to go off. Good luck stopping Dotson. Good luck.
Yeah.
So it's really a tough road ahead for both teams. We'll break down the games in a little bit, but look, my weekend takeaway for the fan bases is if you're Michigan, nothing changed. Nothing changed. This is the week where you can talk to me.
Yeah, they got the job done. They beat Indiana. Now they have to get the job done.
They took care of business
this week.
Go beat Penn State. You beat Penn State, believe me, I will sit up here and I will say Michigan can go to Indianapolis, but you got to beat Penn State. You have to. Cade McNamara throwing the dink and dunks. It works. It works when you play Indiana.
And Blake Corum's out.
And now Blake Corum, we don't know how long he's going to be out.
Yeah.
But if Cade McNamara can duplicate the Michigan State performance to an extent. This is a team that can go far. Do I think he can do that? No. But I think he has to now. If Blake Corum is going to miss the next 2-3 weeks, you don't have a choice but to drop back 28, 32, 35 times. Yeah. You have to. And whether or not you have to mix in J.J. McCarthy, I don't know. But this is your offense moving forward. You have to. You're not going to give the ball to Hassan Haskins 30 times and expect him to go for 170.
Yeah.
Against Indiana, it works. It's been the same story all year, guys. And what happened against State? You were able to expose their secondary. But what happened in the fourth quarter? You got tight. State didn't, and they won the game. Cade McNamara couldn't make the throws. Peyton Thorne did. End of story. That's your season so far. Kennedy.
All right, you guys. Coming up next, we're going to cover some things that happened last night regarding Matthew Stafford. A lot of mixed emotions on that one. We saw some interceptions, a lot of things that made me upset. But I didn't think it was horrible overall. But we'll get these guys' takes on it when we come back. But first, our friends at Northwestern Tech.
Yeah, Northwestern Tech. Great opportunity for you or anybody you know that's looking to start at a actually wonderful trade school. They can get you started right away. You can start a new career in an industry that is always essential. It's the heating and cooling industry. You can learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for taking time out of your Monday to hang out with us right here on the Morning Woodward Show. All right, Stafford and the Rams, they struggled last night against the Tennessee Titans, who is a very legit team, let us say. But Stafford was, harassed by this Tennessee unit. Was struggling to find his rhythm. Stafford made some mistakes, throwing 2 second-quarter interceptions. The first in his own end zone, trying to avoid a sack. The next was 10 seconds later. Tennessee safety picked off for a 24-yard touchdown. But the Rams ultimately lost 28-16. Stafford has obviously been in the MVP conversation. He was in the front of the ranks last week. So you guys, your thoughts on Stafford now after yesterday's game?
Look, I know it's easy right now, especially coming off a really bad performance on Sunday night, to dogpile Stafford and the Rams and, oh my goodness, they're frauds. They're still 7-2, last I checked. They beat the defending Super Bowl champions. That goes somewhere with me. That was a big win. Now, their 2 losses have come at home, oddly enough, against Arizona, who, let's be honest, are legit, and Tennessee, that even without Derrick Henry, they show that they can put together a scheme that could keep them in the ballgame, which was, we're going to be able to get pressure on Stafford by only sending 4 guys. That is a very difficult thing to do, and it's risky, because if the O-line holds up, well, then you're giving any good quarterback, let alone Stafford, time to really pick your team apart. The defensive line for Tennessee was unbelievable last night. It was great to watch. Their delayed stunt rushes, it was beautiful. Mike Vrabel, I got to give him a ton of credit last night, him and his staff, the players overall. Byard is the best secondary player in the NFL, and it's not even close. Yes, Trayvon Diggs has more interceptions, but I'll be honest, there's a significant difference in value between this kid and Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs, second-year pro, having a hell of a season, yes, but not where this guy's at. There's different levels to this. This is an all-pro level type play. A huge performance last night from Tennessee, but let's get to Stafford. Against the rest of the league, outside of his 3 games where he's played big games, meaning Tennessee, Arizona, and Tampa Bay, outside of those 3 games, he's got 22, I believe, 21 or 22 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. I mean, you're talking phenomenal pace, right? And against the 3 teams that, let's be honest, are legitimate, he's 1-2, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 being pick sixes, which came last night. Now, that's not horrible. You could look at the stats and say, well, he kind of played good. Yeah, but no, that you can't play like that, Matthew. You can't. And it's not time to jump overboard or say, well, I told you Stafford was going to do it in LA, or hey, I told you Stafford wasn't going to do it. This isn't the time. They're 7-2. Come January, we can have this conversation. We can. If he plays like this in January, then the narrative, it is what it is. It'll never change on Stafford. Now, if he goes out in January and he actually wins meaningful games, none of us, nobody in media, people at home can say a word. It's that simple. So, yeah, last night was really bad for Stafford, but hey, Josh Allen, held to 6 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Aaron Rodgers a few weeks ago, not that great, but still pulled out the victory. Saw what he did week 1 against the New Orleans Saints. Tom Brady had an off game against New Orleans. It happens. It's okay. It's a long season. I just refuse to sit up here, even though it was a bad night, and it's the second time this year against a very good team that the offense just didn't get going for LA. I'm not going to sit here and overreact to Stafford and the Rams. They're sitting 7-2. They'll be just fine. They have 2 games of film now where they need to figure it out. They had everything working for them to an extent. Cooper Kupp out of the slot, dynamic. Robert Woods had a good game. The problem, you couldn't get the run game going. You couldn't stick to it because, let's be honest, Stafford made 2 horrible decisions. Yeah. And they paid for him. The defense almost outscored the LA Rams if it wasn't for that late touchdown. The Rams put up, 15 points?
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans defense put up 14. That was a phenomenal game by Tennessee. I really want to take today to give them all the credit, but I don't want to overreact to Stafford by us sitting up here and saying, well, look, this is who he is in Detroit. It's a 17-game schedule. They're 7-2. Relax.
Yeah.
Now, if this continues and it's a trend, be my guest. Believe me, I'll support it. But I got to see this in January, good or bad, not just early November. Show me in January what you're going to do, Matthew Stafford. If you can go out and win divisional games, win in the wild card, win in the divisional round, nobody can say a goddamn word.
Yeah.
The narrative is in your hands. It's that simple. So that's where I'm at this morning with Matthew Stafford and the Rams.
Yeah, people act like Matthew Stafford's performance last night. I mean, there's quarterbacks around the league that have had far worse performances, thus 9 weeks in. So Matthew Stafford last night, he had the pick 6 or 2 picks. I mean, he had 2 picks, which is unheard of for Matthew Stafford, at least this year. 4 interceptions on the year, now 6. But even before then, he was on a tear. And you look at the Bucs last year with their loss to the Saints, this year with their loss to the Saints. Yes, they've lost to Arizona and Tennessee. Yes, both those games, Matthew Stafford attempted over 40 passes. So, the more you ask out of him in this offense, it's going to be tough on him. I mean, you got a guy in Darrell Henderson who's going for 5 yards a clip, and you can't even commit to the run because you're down. You got to keep throwing it. So, they're in a tough position last night, and I got to give credit to Mike Vrabel and Ryan Tannehill for, just them two, offensively and defensively. Kevin Byard and all what they've been doing. David Long had an interception last night, linebacker. They look good, and they got a lot of flack, the Tennessee Titans defense early for being, such a horrendous defense. You saw how they looked against the Arizona Cardinals week 1 and where they've, come to now. They're a good team, man, and they're serious. Even without Derrick Henry, and they got a good, formidable team around him. So they're going to miss some, but until then, they're still dangerous. And the Rams at home, 2 losses. It's tough to swallow. And, against the Cardinals and the Tennessee Titans, 2 legit playoff teams. But I'm not going to sit here and say Stafford's a fraud or, whatever the case may be. It's easy to say that for a lot of people that are looking to discredit Matthew Stafford already. It's ridiculous.
Can we agree? Just as, general football fans.
Yeah.
Yesterday was such a weird day in the NFL.
It was.
I love that comment. That was the most awkward, depressing, emotionally, I don't even know how to describe my emotions.
Colt McCoy winning. I mean,
it was such
winning
a
over the San Francisco. It was weird.
Such a weird Sunday. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, any Sunday of football is great, but it was just so weird how the day continued to play out. And it was so befitting that on a night you expected the Rams to really handle the Derrick Henry-less Tennessee Titans. It's the Tennessee Titans that handle the Rams. Look, it's the NFL, guys. This is the NFL. If Stafford goes out in the wild card round or he loses the next 3 division games, believe me.
That's where it matters.
That's when we can sit up here and say, yeah, this is the same Stafford in Detroit, 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's not the case. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I think there's a lot to learn from from the Tennessee Titans last night. I don't want to spend too much time on the Rams and Stafford. The Titans really, there was a distance about this much between them and the Bills. Those, to me, were the two best teams in the NFL, or the AFC, I should say.
Yeah,
and they were
AFC.
really the most complete teams. Mm-hmm. I mean, that gap is about here right now. And it's not even close. Tennessee right now just look beyond complete. The coaching staff is in sync. Ryan Tannehill not making many mistakes. After that Jalen Ramsey interception, he buttoned up real quick. And I thought one of the funniest things that happened last night, I don't know if you guys caught it, was on the Ryan Tannehill goal line rollout.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald read it, and he was going to go after Ryan Tannehill and make the play. But the eager edge rusher ran right into Aaron Donald. It was the funniest thing ever. I'll find that clip and send it to Alex, but it was hilarious. I mean, he had it all figured out. And he went to run after Tannehill, and then his defensive edge rusher just comes in and trips him over. It's pretty funny. But moving on off the Rams whole debacle, moving forward.
Yeah.
Cardinals are 8-1.
Yep.
Rams 7-2. Rams have the head-to-head, but they play later on in the year. NFC West outlook moving forward. I mean, this division's going to get tight, but you can't lose at home.
No.
And they got 2 home losses right now. Yes, they can still control their own destiny. They can beat Arizona. They can win 14, 15 games, whatever it may be. But where are the Rams going now in the future? And are the Cardinals ever going to slow down? Are the Cardinals going to look human? I'm glad they rested Kyler Murray. That was the right decision. But what's going to happen moving forward, Jeff, in this division?
Well, let's compare their next 3 games. So the Rams face the 49ers away on the road, and then they take on, after that, I believe Jacksonville after that. No, the Packers. They have the 49ers, the Packers, and then Jacksonville for their next 3 games. So, I mean, you say what you want. I think they go either 3-0 or 2-1 in those games. Maybe you'll lose to the Packers with Aaron Rodgers when he comes back. But other than that, I think they beat the 49ers. They beat the Jaguars. And looking at the Cardinals' next 3 games, they got the Panthers, the Seahawks, possibly with Russell Wilson, and the Bears. So you got 2 of these teams that both of them can go 2-1 over the next 3 games. It's going to really come down, I think, to December 13th when they take on the Rams once again in Arizona. And you saw what Aaron Rodgers was able to do without Devontae Adams. It's going to be tough. And the question to me is, how long is Kyler Murray out? He's dealing with that knee injury. Colt McCoy let him do a win, but I'm assuming he's back in 3 weeks. How does that affect his MVP case? And will he be 100% healthy for the Rams game?
I think he's out of it.
Okay, so he's out of it.
He had a stinker the week prior. He missed this game. That's it.
You get one shot.
No.
What do you?
Seriously.
I want to see.
Unless he just plays at an extremely high level.
What about Josh Allen? Because I think he's almost
the
out of
MVP
it.
race now is really close. I think Brady really took a bump up this weekend on a bye week.
Lamar's up. He better be above a lot of people.
Lamar needs to be up there for sure. I think if I give out the MVP award today, it's got to be Lamar Jackson.
I agree with you. And Stafford second.
I don't think that's even debatable. I think Stafford was the front runner going into the week.
Yeah.
You can't throw 2 pick sixes. I'm sorry, you just can't. Lamar Jackson down 21?
Over 100 yards rushing.
Phenomenal.
3 touchdowns.
Phenomenal performance. Yeah. Lamar Jackson for me clear MVP right now, but
what do you think? NFC winner at the end of the year. You think Rams got it or the Cardinals still hold it out?
I think the NFC is loaded. It could be New Orleans.
Yeah.
It could be the Bucks. It could be the Packers, the Rams, the Cardinals. Heck, you just don't know. The NFC is stacked. So right now, no, I'm not confident in making a pick. I mean, I do like the Rams.
Out of the NFC West, how about that?
Out of the NFC West, I think the Cardinals right now, I mean, they have that 1-game advantage. If they beat the Rams again in a few weeks, that changes the whole deal.
Yeah.
But, I did want to bring up something. Look, I like to consider myself an honest guy. Honestly.
Yeah, you are.
I really do. So when I see something wrong, especially in something maybe I say, I'm going to sit up here and tell you like it is. All right? Hear me out, Kennedy, because I know you're going to like this one. Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers. Now, as much of a fan as I am regarding Kyle Shanahan, something's wrong in San Francisco. That team is too well balanced and too talented of a roster, in my opinion, to be a 3-5 football team right now. They're underperforming. You can't get stomped against Colt McCoy and an Arizona Cardinal team, let's be honest, that's missing DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray. I mean, that had San Francisco written all over it, and you failed to get yourself to 4-4. Look, do I think Kyle Shanahan is a horrible coach? No, I still think a lot of him as a head coach. I think he's a damn good coach. But there comes a time where you just got to look at a situation and say, well, is it time to blow up San Francisco? John Lynch? Kyle Shanahan? Is this done? Or are you guys going to be able to recover and bounce back? Or is this heavily reliant on Trey Lance working out? Look at Jordan Love. Tell me about project quarterbacks. Jordan Love looked like he couldn't even throw a football.
No, he's...
Now, Trey Lance, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's shown, samples of what he can do.
It ain't a good look for Matt LaFleur. His record without Aaron Rodgers.
No, not Matt LaFleur to an extent. I think it really tells it's a huge tell on the Packers organization. Well, their GM and scouts.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure he had something to do.
Matt LaFleur can take all the punches he wants for this quarterback. But that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
When a quarterback looks like that, you got to look at your scouts and your GM like, what did you see in that? So that's the initial takeaway. But back to the Niners, they don't look good at all. It's too talented of a roster, and I think they're underperforming. And you got to ask questions. Do I think the Niners hiring the Lions coordinator as their DC now is a good idea? No. Is that why they're struggling? Maybe. But you're Kyle Shanahan. You got to take accountability. So.
We're going to get into the rest of the NFL later, but Adam, I did find that video for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Please
here
play
it is.
this.
Thanks, Westy.
This is awesome. All right, Jeff, look at this. Look at Aaron Donald. He read it. Please rewind it. Rewind it again.
There's another angle of it later in the video.
Leave it. All right, look at this. Aaron Donald saw it. 54.
Dang.
He's pissed.
54 just completely blows up the play. Aaron Donald read it. And this eager edge rusher who threw away all contain like an idiot. That's what happens. That's what happens.
If I'm Aaron Donald,
that is so funny.
Aaron Donald's grabbing that man's face mask on the sideline. He's ticked off. I don't know how. Look at pay dirt. Oh, God.
Rip.
Well,
they tried.
Well, regardless, it was a great weekend of football. So much to talk about. Upcoming, I believe it's Overreaction Monday.
Yes.
And then later on in the show, we're going to talk about Michigan State's loss to Purdue and, of course, Michigan's win over Indiana. But, Kennedy, what do we got?
First, we have our friends at MyBookie, which, you know what? I tried it with MyBookie this weekend. I really did, but Adam really botched those for me. Shout out to Ohio State for not covering.
Listen,
and throwing all my parlays.
Whoever talks to me about betting or anything, shut up. When you lose the money I lost over the weekend, nobody can talk to me. Your $20.
We put 40 on one of them, 20 on the other.
Is nothing compared to the thousands of dollars I lost this weekend.
Listen, Adam, I've never bet more than like $5 to $15 at a time. Adam was like, "This one's good. Throw 40 on it." And I was like, "All right, you're really confident," and I did it. And then Ohio State did not cover.
Whatever. Oh, wait. I do like this
they did
comment.
Win, though.
I do like this comment in the chat though. Justin Spiro, I still like Kyle Shanahan. I could see this being similar to when Sean Payton had a mid-career dip in results before getting back to his annual 10-plus wins. I do agree it's heavily reliant on the quarterback play, although I think Jimmy G did fine, but defensively they look god-awful.
Defensively.
They're secondary awful. Can't cover anybody. They have problems to fix. I'm still sold on Kyle Shanahan as a damn good coach in this league.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I don't
Can't
think
sit
it's
here
enough
and write
to
him
get rid of
off. That'd be.
No, I'm not writing
be,
off a guy who took his team to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Excuse me. But regardless, we got to talk about betting and MyBookie. Guys, MyBookie is where it's at. Bet from anywhere, anytime. Using MyBookie, when I gamble, I'm always looking for a way to get an edge. And at MyBookie, I get that exact edge. They will double your first deposit today, guys. You use code Woodward. They will give you dollar-for-dollar match up to $1,000. You put in $100, they'll give you $100. You put in $200, they'll give you $200. Guys, dollar-for-dollar match going on at MyBookie right now. Guys, you know how much I love the NHL overs at 5.5. Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. Maybe pick a Najee Harris to have 2 touchdowns. You never know. That's what I'm going for. That's one of my bets for tonight. Sneak preview. But regardless, if you do have a gambling problem, please call the Gambling Problem Hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Morning Woodward Show. All right, my favorite part of every Monday, Overreaction Monday. Jeff, we will start with you today. What is your first overreaction?
Well, Lamar Jackson is second to Matthew Stafford MVP right now. That's my overreaction. I mean, maybe it is an overreaction, but Matthew Stafford was the MVP all year for me. I went on the show, last week, the week before. He's MVP. Lamar Jackson, we haven't really been talking about him. I mean, my MVP last week, Stafford, I had Josh Allen. You could even throw Dak Prescott up until the Denver Broncos game, of course. But, I had Herbert up there. Of course, now Lamar Jackson. He's ascended all of those quarterbacks. And you saw what he did last night. Over 100 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He had the interception, but he was magnificent. They were down early against a very good Minnesota team at home. And you know what? Lamar Jackson did Lamar Jackson things last night. They've been really without a run game all year. J.K. Dobbins went out with a knee injury. He's been their RB1 and their QB1, and I think he needs to be talked about a lot more, and I have him number 1 right now in MVP. It's not really an overreaction, but that's my statement for Monday, baby. So he's number 1 in MVP.
My Overreaction Monday isn't really an overreaction. I think this is just a matter of fact now at this point. I'm tired of talking about it. Cincinnati should not ever, I don't want to ever see them ranked in the top 6, top 8 ever again. You want to put them at 10? You want to put them at 12? Be my guest. Don't you dare put them 1-2 spots off away from being in the top 4. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to ever acknowledge it. Congratulations to everybody crying and DMing me and sending me very, very mean things over the weekend about my rant on Cincinnati last week. There you go. And I got to give Cincinnati credit. A damn good win against, let's be honest, one of the best teams in college football in Tulsa. It was a fantastic win.
You saw what they did against Oklahoma.
That goal line stand against Tulsa, unbelievable. I mean, just fireworks everywhere. What a phenomenal win for Cincinnati. They should jump to the top. So tired. So give me a 3-loss Big Ten team over Cincinnati.
All right. Well, my second one is actually still in the quarterback conversation. Jordan Love, I don't know, man. I'm ready to call him a bust. And you could sit here and say he hasn't gotten the reps, but at the same time, he should be getting these reps in practice with either the second team going out now. You get a game, against Kansas City. Arguably the worst secondary in football, arguably the worst defense in football, and this is a perfect opportunity for him. He's on the road, gets to take on, Patrick Mahomes, great duel, and he absolutely craps the bed. And Jordan Love, you could talk about 2 years, hasn't gotten any reps at all, but I don't know. If you know, you know. And with Jordan Love, I know. I haven't seen really anything from the man, and Matt LaFleur is in for a roller coaster ride when Aaron Rodgers leaves or retires, if he's there for the rest of his career or he's with another team. The Packers are going to be interesting because if Jordan Love's in the NFC North, I think I can take just a big breath of fresh air for a little bit because I'm not too confident in Jordan Love. So that's my overreaction. The man's a bust.
The Green Bay Packers need to have a meeting today.
Sit down.
They need to sit down in a room, and they need to have Jordan Love on one side and Aaron Rodgers in a COVID suit, I don't know what the heck you call him, on the other side of the table. The GM, the head coach, all need to be there, and they need to have a sit down. The first thing that needs to be said is, hey, Aaron, we just want to apologize to you for taking this bump. The second thing, they're going to turn to Jordan Love. Jordan Love, we're trading you. You're heading to Washington. We traded you for a 4th-round pick. Aaron, we're sorry. Here is a new deal with fully guaranteed money. We're sorry. We messed this one up. Move on. Jordan Love. I don't know. That was really bad. When you sit for a year and a half and you look like you can't run the offense for the first 3 quarters, what do I say, honestly? Am I supposed to sit up here and say, oh, he's a young kid? He's been sitting for a year and a half. He's had more than enough time. He should have looked like, veteran backups do. They walk in, they run the offense, they do the little things right, and that's it. He couldn't even he couldn't throw the football.
I could see if it was his rookie year. I'd give him maybe a pass. Maybe he wasn't prepared. But, MP, in the chat, Jordan Love didn't look prepared. I can't give him that pass. I really can't. After a year and a half, I mean, what he did last night, the Packers looked absolutely abysmal. So, it is what it is. So, we'll move on. Well, what's your next one?
My next overreaction on a Monday is regarding Michigan State's loss to Purdue.
Okay.
Purdue are a damn good football team. Having said that, Michigan State should not fall any further than 5 or 6 in the College Football Playoff Committee. I don't see why you should punish Michigan State for losing to Purdue. Let's be honest. It was a trap game. It had it written all over it. I still like Michigan State and their qualities. Their secondary does concern me, though. It is a problem. It is a secondary likely that'll be exposed by Penn State, by Ohio State especially. But we'll have to wait and see. But I just don't think you punish Michigan State to that extent. Wherever you put Michigan State committee, College Football Committee tonight, wherever you put Michigan State, I want Michigan one spot behind them. If you want to put them at 5, Michigan's at 6. If you want to put them at 6, Michigan's at 7. That's the reality, in my opinion, for today. I don't think they should fall any further than this.
Yep. My next overreaction goes to the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. We were just talking about Kyle Shanahan. The 49ers, last in the NFC West, behind the Seattle Seahawks. They probably will stay there once Russell Wilson gets back. Trey Lance needs to get more reps. He was available on the sideline Sunday when they lost to the Cardinals and Colt McCoy. And as much as I love Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm not saying he's the problem. It's the defensively they have issues they need to fix. But this is a lost season for the 49ers. I mean, we can admit that. And at least you're getting reps to your number 3 overall pick, Trey Lance. And you know what? They haven't been using him. They used him, a couple of snaps in the beginning of the season. They kind of went away from him. He had the injury after the Arizona game, and now they've kind of went totally away from him. He needs to get back more involved. I think Trey Lance either needs to get more snaps, use 2 quarterbacks at part-times. You got a guy who's very mobile. Get him more experience because this guy's your future. Next year, you're hoping Trey Lance starts the entirety of the season, and Jimmy Garoppolo isn't winning you games. I can see if he was winning you games, but you have way more problems on this team than just quarterback. Put Trey Lance in there, get him his reps. So that's what I think.
All right, my last overreaction for this beautiful Monday is going to be for Michigan fans. Michigan fans should shut the hell up. You beat Indiana, and I'm going to advise you once again to shut the hell up. And I mean that in I mean it in the most genuine way. I don't mean it in an insulting way. But shut up, please. Please go beat Penn State so I can sit up here and pound the table and say Michigan are legit. They lost to a damn good Michigan State team. Watch out, Ohio State. If they take care of business against Maryland, watch out, this could be the year. Mm-hmm. Please go beat Penn State. And just shut the hell up until then. Just focus on beating Penn State. If you can go on the road and beat Penn State, my goodness, that'll go a long way with a lot of people. Don't you dare go on the road again and lose again. Don't do it. Because you lose to Penn State, that's Jim Harbaugh's job, plain and simple. That's the reality. Kennedy, I know you're going to talk about Notre Dame, so I'll let you.
Yeah, I am. Because, listen, I was bummed out that Michigan State lost. I truly was rooting for them, but then it hit me at the end of the game. You know who already beat Purdue? Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Go
Notre
Irish.
Dame. That's right. And so, therefore, they should be like 3 in the college football rankings.
No, they shouldn't be anywhere near the top 4.
Yes, they should.
Me and Jeff are gonna give
know.
our top 10 later. Mm-hmm. So you guys will get what we think the committee should do tonight. But look,
Notre Dame's going up.
I'm gonna give Notre Dame credit.
They're not sitting at 10. That's
in this
for damn
capacity.
sure.
They lost to Cincinnati.
A good Cincinnati team.
Thank you, Fish.
An average Cincinnati team, Fish.
Above average for Cincinnati standards.
Yeah,
Yes.
standards aren't much.
Okay.
Yeah, imagine being and never mind. We're not going to do this. Anyways, look, Notre Dame, I will give them credit.
Woo!
They beat Navy.
Clap it up.
Huge win, just like Cincinnati. You got to give credit where credit is due. Cincinnati at home beat a damn good Tulsa team, one of the best teams in the country in Tulsa. And Notre Dame, they beat Navy. Let's be honest, Navy, top 10 team in the country right now. So huge wins over
Someone
the weekend
just clip
for,
that and put it
for
with no
Cincinnati and Notre
context.
Dame.
They run the
Huge
ball
wins.
every down. I mean, they're a talented team.
Get away from me.
All right, you guys. Coming up next, we will be covering that MSU loss to Purdue. So stick around for that. But first, our friends at Guardian Alarm.
Yeah, we talk about defenses. Kansas City having a horrendous defense. The 49ers defense looking very bad. Guardian Alarm, I can't name a time they had a bad defense because Guardian Alarm gets it. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features so that you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock your doors. Call 800-STAY-OUT today. That's 800-STAY-OUT. You hear fish. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everyone. You're tuned in to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Like I said, it really bums me out that Michigan State is no longer undefeated. They lost to those pesky Boilermakers 40-29. Purdue racking up 594 yards of offense. Their quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, finishing with 536 passing yards. And wide receiver David Bell, 11 catches for 217 yards. I mean, like I said earlier, this is what Purdue does. They already beat at the time, ranked number 2 Iowa. I kind of expected it. Didn't hurt any less that it happened. But you guys, recap the game for me, your thoughts. Start with you, Adam.
All right. Well, look, this was a very interesting game.
Yeah.
And when Michigan State was only down 7 in the third quarter and they really had momentum, their next 2 offensive possessions, they did nothing with the football, which really killed them. Kenneth Walker, look, guys, I know it's an individual award, but give him the Heisman already.
Yeah. I don't see
wanna
anybody
hear,
else.
Just show me one Heisman moment across all of college football, please. I don't think anybody is anywhere near his level right now. 23 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown. He added, another 30 yards through the air? I think 2 catches, 20 yards through the air. So, look, the guy's the most dynamic running back in college football right now. He's the most deserving of the award. But moving past the individual, State really, I mean, you're going to get mad at them for losing on the road at Purdue? I'm not. I'm not going to overreact to it. They gave up 40 points. You can't do that. You give up 40 points, you're probably losing the football game. They gave up 33 to Michigan. They walked away with it. They gave up 40 this time. That's back-to-back weeks now. We've seen the secondary really look awful. And that's going to be a problem. You have Ohio State next, then Penn State. It doesn't get any easier for Michigan State. So they got to button up real quick. But you know, there's one thing I really appreciated out of Mel Tucker this weekend that I don't think is being talked about enough. Is Michigan State had their fair share of bogus officiating calls. And Mel Tucker stood up there and didn't say a damn word about it. You can lose football games. You can lose football games because of referees. But don't sit up there and act like the referees are the reason why you blew a 16-point lead. And I was really happy with Mel Tucker. Look, that whole quota of relentlessness, that's what they are. They embody their head coach. And I think they rebound and they play a damn good game against Ohio State. I don't think they get blown out. I'm curious what the line is. But my takeaway from the game is they didn't play good at all. They didn't play winning football. And they didn't play winning football for 2 weeks in a row. This time they didn't get away with it. Simple. I'm not going to kill them for it, though. Loss on the road to a 6-3 Purdue team who are 4-2 in the conference, who are going to push Wisconsin to the very end for that Indianapolis spot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and kill Michigan State today. I refuse to.
Yeah. No, it's easy, especially for Michigan fans. You want to kill Michigan State. You lose by 11 to a Purdue team with Aiden O'Connell who can really spin it. I mean, you saw it last night or Saturday rather, over 500 yards, and we kind of talked about this earlier. It's more so Purdue, exacerbating the secondary of Michigan State because we saw what Michigan was able to do. Cade McNamara looked like a whole different quarterback last week against Michigan State, and now this week you're kind of saying, what if there is a hangover? I don't think there is really much of a hangover. It's more so just their secondary being that bad. In Purdue, they're not that bad. They're not a bad team. What are they? Top 15, top 20 defense in college football, and offensively, Aiden O'Connell, you saw what he was able to do. They're a pass-heavy offense, and anytime you're a pass-heavy offense, you can control the time of possession. They had it for 35 minutes to Michigan State's 24, passing the football. They're efficient. 11 for 18 on third downs. It's hard to beat any team if you're giving up that many third down conversions. Fourth down, 1 for 1. They were just on a tear last night, and Michigan State lost the penalty battle. Kenneth Walker had a Heisman performance, but they still took the loss. So it is what it is. They lost to a good team. I'm not going to overreact. They were undefeated up until this point, and they lose on the road to a very good football team. What are we going to do? You can't sit here and crap on them. There's no reason to. It'd be worse.
What were your expectations?
I mean,
this is the second year of Mel Tucker.
Right. What did we say? A handful of losses this year. We predicted
You came
before.
in, if they won 6 games, that would have been a huge turnaround for this Michigan State program.
Yeah.
They started 8-0. Shut up. Expectations are different. Yeah, they are. They are. You know that? And yeah, I got very upset with Michigan that they lost to Michigan State. You know why? Because you're up 16 on the road, complete control of the game. You're up 30-14, and you blew that game. Michigan State went out and won it. And you want to blame the refs? You want to blame J.J. McCarthy? I don't care who you want to blame. You lost the game. And that loss doesn't look any better now that Purdue just beat Michigan State. You needed Michigan State to win. And then you needed them to lose to Ohio State and maybe drop a game against Penn State. That's what you needed as a Michigan fan, not Purdue. Not Purdue. So we'll see what happens with the committee tonight.
This is a good question. I want to actually finish your point.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's an interesting point. People are bringing up RG3 won the Heisman with 3 losses. If Michigan State, they have Penn State and Ohio State. If they lose those 3 times, will Kenneth Walker get the Heisman Trophy still?
I just don't know who you give it to. Bryce Young? No. Who? Matt Corral? No.
Who?
So
Malik Willis? No. He got exposed against Ole Miss this weekend.
But you think it'd be tough, like a 1-loss, 2 2-loss Alabama?
This is an individual award. Kenneth Walker has been the most outstanding player in college football since week 1.
True.
Since his first touch of the football, this man has already had 3-4 Heisman moments. I can't think of one Heisman moment across the country.
Yeah.
It's his award. The only way he loses it is if he gets hurt and he doesn't play the rest of the year. But I don't see Michigan State losing another 3-4 games. I don't see them losing out. It's not going to happen. They're going to finish 9-3. We'll see.
Should be enough.
I still think this is a damn good football team.
Yeah.
I just do. They got 3 games left. Look, it's his award to lose. And I can't explain it any further than that, guys. Go, honestly, look yourselves in the mirror and tell me there is another player, individual player, in college football that's had one Heisman moment. You can't name one. You can't. Kenneth Walker's had 3 or 4. The performance against Miami. First touch of the season against Northwestern. His individual run, I believe, against, was it Rutgers?
Yeah.
5 touchdown performance against Michigan.
That was the big one right there. Seal the deal.
And now he's got Penn State and Ohio State to prove his worth. The guy's got it in the bag. Don't talk to me about anybody outside of Kenneth Walker for the Heisman. It's his award and his award alone. I don't think you can make the argument for any other player. I don't care if it's on an undefeated Georgia team or a 1-loss Bama team or a 2-loss this team. I don't care. There's no individual more deserving of the Heisman than that young man. And that's the reality. Anybody want to disagree with this?
No.
I'm open.
No. I just thought it was an interesting question. I mean, they have, RG3 won it with 3 losses. If they have 3 losses on their record, he deserves it as an individual award. I'm just curious how the committee would view it. You got a 1-loss Alabama. Do they favor that, or do they give it to the quarterback with less losses? But Kenneth Walker, no doubt. I wouldn't argue anybody else. I can't. Maybe Bryce Young, but he doesn't have any moments. Like
he
you
doesn't
said.
have any moments.
Like comeback
he doesn't have any
wins.
signature games.
Caleb Williams, a freshman, had one of a moment. Against
He's not playing
Texas
the whole season.
But I'm
so
just saying though, you can't give him that. That's the only player I can name that's had a college moment. It really has
Look,
been
I
Kenneth
think
Walker.
it's his award. He's got to play out the year. I don't think he's going to put up dud numbers.
No.
I think he'll be fine against Ohio State. I think he'll do fine against Penn State. And I think he'll do fine in the remaining game. I just think he'll be fine. Just relax. That award is in the bag if he averages 100 to 110 yards a game over the next 3. He'll be fine. He's got this. Having said that, Michigan fans, this is why I say you should shut the hell up. Jim Harbaugh is in year 7, and he's 8-1. Mel Tucker year 2, 8-1.
It's crazy.
Mel Tucker year 2 already has a signature 2 actually over Michigan.
It's crazy.
You haven't beaten him yet. You haven't gone on the road and really beaten any real teams, ranked opponents. It's been rare under Jim Harbaugh. And you got to do that this week against Penn State because they're going to be ranked. And then you got to play Ohio State November 27th, and you got to win that game. And if you don't, and you lose 2 of the 3 like we discussed, it's going to be really hard for me to sit up here and say, well, yeah, they're 10-2, and they should keep Jim Harbaugh. Why? Why? Do you want to become great? Or do you just want to be that team that wins 10 games every year? Or you can be Jim Caldwell, accept mediocrity. Or do you actually want to win something? Do you want to make a Big Ten championship game? How about start there and then maybe win it and maybe a college football playoff appearance? How about you do that first before talking? Kennedy?
All right, you guys. Coming up next, we have something a little special for you guys, something new. I'll tell you all about it. And then we are getting into our Michigan win over IU. All right, let me tell you about the new thing we've got going on. It is called the Turkey Games. To qualify, actually, let me tell you the prize first. If you win our Turkey Games, which is our spin on Squid Games, you are winning front row tickets to the Lions game on Thanksgiving. What you will be doing is competing in 3 events: red light, green light, egg toss, and honeycomb break. And so at 9 a.m. we will tell you what to do in the chat, and you can maybe qualify for our squid /
How many people
turkey
are we
games.
qualifying a day? 1, right?
1 a day.
1 a day, and then they get to compete in this like Squid Game-esque.
To
Well,
try and
one
win
a-
these tickets.
This is gonna be
It'll
fun.
be
I
a
like
lot of
this a
fun.
lot.
One a day on each of the 3 shows.
I like
Right.
it. This is gonna
So
be really
3
fun.
a day.
Yes. So stick around for that. Make sure you're in our chat at 9 a.m. and we will qualify one of you. All right. That is all from me. We will see you and talk some Michigan football after the break.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back, everyone. As promised, getting into some Michigan football. They gave IU their 6th straight Big Ten loss. IU is now 0-6 in the Big Ten, losing 29-7. The Hoosier defense just didn't look great against Michigan, in my humble opinion. They could not stop that rush, giving up all those long runs. With the loss, the Hoosiers will not be eligible to play in a bowl game for the first time since 2018. So quite a brutal loss for IU, given to them by none other than the Michigan Wolverines. Jeff, your thoughts on the game?
Well, it's hard really to give thoughts because they got the job done. And you know what? They're defensively, Michigan, as legit as we say they are legit. They stepped up tremendously last night against Indiana. I know it's Indiana, and that's what they're supposed to do. They gave up a touchdown, in the first half. Defense got pressure on the quarterback throughout the game. 2 sacks, 9 QB hits. Aiden Hutchinson, Ajabo. I just want to read this for Ajabo. Over the last, let me just read. Okay. David Ajabo, over his last 5 games, has 15 tackles, 7 sacks, 3 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, and 21 quarterback pressures per PFF. he's been on an absolute tear. I think Michigan, they have the best 1-2 punch defensively, in my opinion, in college football. Two guys that will be drafted very high, and it helped them tremendously against Indiana. They took care of business, and I think those two pieces right there, Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, in the secondary played extremely well. Going to be big when they take on Penn State, when they take on Ohio State. They're going to need to step up. Cade didn't play bad, 10 for 18, 2 touchdowns, but like we've been saying all year, Cade is Cade. We know he's what we know him to be. The question is, can Michigan do this on Penn State with Hassan Haskins? Can they do this against Ohio State? That's the question. Blake Corum out with an injury. We don't know how long he'll be out. It's going to hurt this run game. I mean, Hassan Haskins on Saturday went for 168 yards and 27 carries. He was getting 6.2 yards a clip. I don't know if that's going to happen against Penn State. They're going to ask Cade McNamara to throw the ball. In Penn State, Ohio State don't have secondaries like MSU. Yeah, they look shaky against Michigan. It's going to be a tough ask, and you're going to need Cornelius Johnson. Performances like that, over 100 yards. They need a wide receiver one. You saw it in State. It was more of spread it around, spread the wealth, and it worked out. They scored 30-plus. They still lost. They left some points off on the board, but J.J. McCarthy it kind of got some reps as well. He threw the interception because Cade has the injury he's still dealing with. He was out in the State game, and that's when JJ came in and fumbled the snap. It was because Cade McNamara was in the tent. He had an injury, and it's still lurking. So Michigan just has to stay healthy. They got to get Cade McNamara 100% healthy. They got to get Blake Corum back eventually. I don't know how long he'll be out. It was a knee injury, but like I said, I'm not taking much. Michigan got the job done. It would be bad if it was a lot closer, obviously. So they won 29-7. They absolutely destroyed them at home. So they got the job done. Kudos to them. Jim Harbaugh has to worry about 2 games, or even 3 if you want to add Maryland, which I think they'll beat Maryland. But it's really Penn State and Ohio State. I don't know. And I did say if they go 1-2 over the next 3 games, like in talking about State, Penn State, and Ohio State, if Jim Harbaugh has to beat now 2 out of the 3. He lost to State already. He has to beat these 2. And you have this week, you're going to, I think it's away to Penn State, if I believe. Yeah, it is away. A tough game on the road. You're not going to have Blake Corum probably. It's a tough ask. And that's really the real test for Michigan. What do they do this week against Penn State? So I'm not taking much. Against Indiana, they got the job done. Their defense looked great, magnificent, best defense in the Big Ten. But what can they do against Penn State and Ohio State, Adam? That's my question for them, because I didn't take a whole lot from last Saturday.
If you just look at the last 7 years, it would tell you nothing. No, seriously.
No, well, yeah, you're right. I mean,
it would tell you nothing. You should expect nothing this weekend against Penn State on the road. Classic Jim Harbaugh matchup. Here we go. All the momentum favoring Michigan. And they show up and they probably lose to Penn State. Now, do I think this is the year they get it together? Maybe, but it doesn't matter what I think. It really doesn't. Because at the end of the day, this head coach needs to take this football team on the road and not just barely beat Penn State. They need to beat Penn State. They can't just walk away like, oh, wow, we really dodged the bullet there. No, go out and win that football game. Blake Corum's status, I'm not sure what it looks like moving forward. We'll learn more today and tomorrow. But still, Michigan, this is in your hands now. State lost. You were so worried about the State loss. Oh, my goodness, how are we going to fire Jim Harbaugh? It was always in your hands. State still had to play Ohio State and Penn State just like you do.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of all of you just winning out is super unlikely. It was very unlikely that State was winning out, and it was very unlikely that you were winning out. Now we sit here after the Indiana game. Go take care of business at Penn State. Go take care of business at Maryland. And if you do that and you walk in 10-1 against Ohio State, I got to give you credit. And I got to give the coach credit. But it don't mean anything if you don't beat Ohio State with an opportunity to go to Indianapolis. It doesn't mean anything. All the 10-1 glamour, we look good, we just dropped the ball against State, doesn't matter. You have a conference loss. Ohio State likely walks into that last game without a conference loss. You need to win that game. Not because, it's not a good season. No, 10-2, it's a good year. But you're not playing with this head coach and this football team to have a good year. You are playing to win the Big Ten. And if you can't do that, it's just another year of failure on Jim Harbaugh's part. And that's just the reality. And I'm not sure you can take it any other way. And I understand, look, I understand it's a good season. You're 8-1. State's 8-1. Ohio State is 8-1. I mean, the Big Ten looks really good right now, really balanced. Purdue 6-3. Penn State, I believe, 6-3 or 7-2?
Purdue?
No. Penn State 7-2 or 6-3. It's one of the two. Regardless, you have Iowa. Big Ten looks good, but guys, win. For God's sake, win the big game. Start with Penn State. Go on the road and beat Maryland. That's not going to be easy. That's not going to be fun.
Penn State 6-3. So tough.
Go
game.
do that. Please, Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, go beat Penn State. Show up to Ann Arbor on the 27th, 10-1, and we can have a conversation about if you're a legitimate football team or not, or if you've brought this program back where it needs to be. But the reality is this program was never winning anything. So a 10-2 season with a loss to Ohio State is nothing out of the norm. But you got to beat Ohio State this year. And the way you beat them is by going out and beating Penn State. And giving your team the confidence that, hey, we can beat good football teams, because you haven't beaten any yet. You lost your one opportunity, Kennedy.
All right. It is 9 a.m. This means we have to take a pause, and we have to get our qualifier for the Turkey games. Adam, what do you want the chat to do to have a chance to play in these games and to win these front row Thanksgiving Day tickets?
I want the chat to type in how many points they think Najee Harris will get tonight. And I'm going to give you a hint. If it's over 21 points, you will likely be selected the winner. Because I have Najee going tonight, and I need him to get 22 points. So everybody pitch into the Adam Fantasy Fund.
Don't do it. He's facing me.
Tell me how many points you think Najee Harris will get today.
Say
and
10.
The person who answers with the best answer will get selected and qualify for the Woodward Sports version of the Squid Game Challenge. That will win you amazing tickets to go watch the Detroit Lions. Kennedy, what do you think? What's your number? Give me a number. I'm going to say 24. I think he hits it barely.
That's absurd.
I'm going to say
I think he gets 24 points tonight.
I'm going to say 7. Because
you
you're facing me.
You.
And
Nobody
you know
likes
what?
you.
Right now,
Nobody likes you, Jeff. That's a horrible prediction.
Listen,
I'll give him 20.
I'm up 20. I'm up 20. So if
he's up 19, actually.
19.
I'll give him 20 then.
So everybody say 18 in the chat.
If he gets 20, I lose in my other league. And my other league is a significant buy-in. I don't want to lose in it.
Everybody say 18 in the chat. All
right.
right. We need to get this.
Kennedy, do you want me to select a winner?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I'm sorry. But Tammy Chin's got me locked in. 28
Tammy!
points. Tammy, we love you.
We do love
28
Tammy.
points for Najee Harris. Book it. I'm all for it. Give me Tammy Chin, our first qualifier on the morning
Congrats,
show.
Tammy.
Congratulations,
Okay,
Tammy.
I think you know the drill. I think you already have my email, so email me your information. I'll
Or
get y'all.
DM. They can DM you, email you.
Sure,
Doesn't matter.
whatever. Tammy, I'll get you hooked up. Anyway, back to Michigan. Do you have any more rant?
No, that's about it. Jim Harbaugh needs to step up.
Yeah. And this
You
is
lost to Michigan State.
Hey.
You lost to Michigan State. If you would have beaten them and you would have lost to Penn State, or you had beaten Penn State but then you lost to Ohio State, maybe I could look back at the season and say, oh my goodness. But still, 7 years, no Indianapolis appearance? No, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, Kennedy.
But I will say this, though. Out of all the years, I think this is the year to beat Ohio State. Or at least they can beat Ohio State.
Look,
in the
I'll be
position
honest,
Ohio State's
Jim
in.
Harbaugh's first 2 years, they could have and should have beaten Ohio State. They were more than talented. Now, it's tough to say, hey, it's an Urban Meyer coach team. Well, you know what? Michigan State somehow beat that team. Purdue beat that team. There are a lot of teams to beat that Ohio State team. Michigan couldn't.
But they didn't.
They didn't. So until they do, I'm not going to sit here and say, they could.
Well, I think
not.
this year they have a good chance. Can we agree on that? CJ, I mean, they have Ohio State, Nebraska, Penn State. They look beatable. And you know what? We'll see.
Look, Ohio State,
We'll
yes,
see.
to an extent looks beatable. Nebraska has played everybody close this year. Credit to them. It's a good win for Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State do anything great. But if Peyton Thorne torched you,
Oh, yeah. CJ Stroud will torch you.
CJ Stroud's going to have some fun, too.
We'll see.
So that's the reality. And it applies to Michigan State, too. We'll see. A lot of great college football to play left. So I'm not going to overreact yet. But a clear message to Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, you got to win.
Mm-hmm.
Go beat Penn State. Go beat Maryland. And I think the conversation and that narrative really drives home going into the final game against Ohio State. Those are my thoughts. Kennedy?
All right, you guys, I like it. Coming up next, we're going around the NFL. We'll cover all those games that we haven't yet. Lots of questions to be answered regarding Jordan Love. We saw the Jags get a win yesterday. That was crazy.
Go Urban Meyer!
Yes, we will cover all of that coming up next. But first, our friends over at the Foaling Warehouse.
All right, guys, the Foaling Warehouse, home of the original football bowling pin game called, of course, Foaling. Host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with family and friends anytime. It's a blast, guys. 2 ways to play. A $10 unlimited open play and stay the whole time while you're there. Or you can reserve a private lane for $120 for up to 10 people for 2 hours. That's something we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking the Woodward sports staff there soon. It's going to be a great time. They have over 100 beers, a $2 Mystic beer machine, and multiple fully loaded bars. You can bring your own food or you can have it catered. Be our guest at the Foaling Warehouse. Come on, get your Foal on. Check out foalingwarehouse.com.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everyone. You're tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network, featured on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2. Like I said, we will be going around the NFL for this segment. The Lions had a bye, so we get to cover all of the other games that happened last night. All right, I want to start with the Jags because they got another win under their belt, beating the Bills 9-6. Very low-scoring game, but you guys, Josh Allen versus Josh Allen. They were saying the other Josh Allen. It was so confusing. Josh Allen intercepted, sacked, and recovered a fumble from Josh Allen. So you guys, your thoughts on the Jags-Bills game?
The Bills lost this game. They lost it. There was opportunities for them. I mean, this Jags offense is so bad. Trevor Lawrence, though, credit to him. He beat an MVP candidate. My guy, I picked him to win MVP, Josh Allen. But this is a bad loss for the Bills. You score 6 points on the road against a team. I mean, this was the weirdest NFL game of the week. I mean, we saw a lot of weird ones yesterday. Colt McCoy coming out getting a win. This one right here had me scratching my head. And you know what? It probably had Adam scratching his head just as hard because he had Josh Allen against me in fantasy. And I sat there looking, I double-checked. Exit out of fantasy. Is this correct? Does Josh Allen have 5 points for the entirety of the game? Is this right? And you know what? I was right. Josh Allen, listen, last night, it's a blemish on his MVP case, but at the same time, I think the Bills are fine. This is an ugly loss to Urban Meyer, a great win for Urban Meyer. The Jags moved to 2-6, and they actually look like maybe they could win a couple games. I mean, they beat a very good Buffalo Bills team, but this happens. I mean, the Bills, they got stopped early. They had completely abandoned the run and just kind of put the ball in Josh Allen's hands, and it didn't work out to their favor. So, got to give credit to the Jags. Good win at home, but this is a bad one. Bad blemish on the MVP case for Josh Allen. It's bad for, the Coach of the Year case I had made for the Bills, and it is what it is. So, good win for the Jags, but it is a blemish for the Bills this year for sure. But I think they'll be fine. They still finish top in their division. I don't think the Patriots are catching them, so they'll be fine. They'll be good. What about you, Adam?
Look, NFL is so weird. It was such a weird weekend. I'm not going to sit here and kill the Bills.
No,
I still think they're a good
weird
football team.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Who needs Tim Tebow when you have Urban Meyer, huh? Look, great win for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You look around the league, teams are able to win, even the bad teams. You can win football games. But then there's levels of bad. And
yeah,
I'll give you guys a break because it was a bye week, so
spare me, Adam,
we'll move
please.
on. What's the next game, Kennedy?
I really wanted to get into the Green Bay Kansas City game. We obviously had to take a look at Jordan Love, Patty Mahomes, still looking a little rusty. Your thoughts on both the quarterbacks, you guys, and then the game as a whole?
Patrick Mahomes just doesn't look right.
I'm
doesn't.
trading his
I don't
ass.
know if it's the
Screw him.
TikToks.
Fantasy, he's done.
I don't know
Benched.
if it's the TikToks. I don't know if it's the wife.
Just the
But
whole
ever since he
offense.
proposed to her, he didn't look the same. I'm just saying.
Ever since his brother dumped the water on the one fan, I think it was in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
He's
That
never
was
been the
bad.
same.
Well, I mean, it's been like that prior, but yeah, I agree. It's just
Listen,
been
I'm
embarrassing.
sick of this narrative. It's always the girls' fault. You know, all the NBA players suck because they're dating Kardashians. Maybe they just suck.
No,
No, it's not.
No.
No.
no, Mahomes doesn't suck. I think he's going through
Something.
It's a little slump.
or whatever you want to call it, a slump, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to overreact to it.
Tom Brady
He doesn't look
cursed
good
him.
right now.
No.
He really doesn't. Packers lost that game. Probably should have won it if Aaron Rodgers was healthy. But hey, Jordan Love looked god-awful. I think that's the storyline. I don't want to talk too much about Mahomes. Jordan Love didn't look like he knew what the hell he was doing. And you can blame the coaching staff, you can blame the front office, the scouts. How did we end up here? It's been a year and a half. He didn't even know how to get the team lined up in time. Multiple delay of game penalties, had to waste timeouts.
That's
Couldn't get the
inexcusable.
players set up correctly, illegal formations, illegal motions. Walked up to the center with 1 second left on the clock, staring directly at it, walks up to the center trying to make a protection change. Like, oh my goodness. I mean, it was next level bad. He was really, really bad. And Sparano just brought the heat.
Yeah.
And, you know, Matt LaFleur, if I got to give him some criticism, it's, dude, stop lining up Aaron Jones as a pass blocker. If you knew they were going to bring the heat, which it was so obvious at times in the game, run him out on a quick swing route and get rid of that ball, Jordan Love, right away, and that's hitting for 20, 30, 40 yards. It's not that hard. But you got to make those adjustments. You just do. I'm glad with what the Kansas City Chiefs did, though. Did anybody notice what they did with Jordan Love's mom? It was
disgusting. They put her all the way at the top.
That was the
last
funniest
seat in the entire
was the
house.
funniest, most amazing thing I've ever seen.
They're
in my
like,
life.
and there's Jordan Love's mom and his girlfriend getting to see his first ever NFL start, and then they're zooming for like an hour
They did
at
her
the
a favor.
top of
They
the
did her
stadium.
a favor. They did her a favor.
She didn't have to see
'Cause
that.
if she didn't have to sit
Horrendous.
front row to see that shitty play. Okay?
Swear jar.
I don't care.
Swear
Well,
jar.
correct it to
What the
ass whooping.
Kansas City Chiefs
Yeah.
did is they did her a favor. Because her
That's
son
messed
looked god
up.
awful.
That's his first start.
I don't care. Thank
But
God. Thank God
everyone
she
was
couldn't see
saying
him.
the reason that the tickets were up there were because they're used to Rogers' family not showing up. So they like have their tickets in case at the tippity top.
Oh, that's
Because
funny.
Rogers' family, they don't talk.
Well, they knew going into the game that Rodgers was going to be out.
So they're
but
like, their
regardless,
QB
regardless,
their
I
QB
still think it
tickets
was
are up here.
amazing. I think it was amazing. A great gesture by the Chiefs fans.
Horrendous.
Or the organization. It's not. It's amazing.
It's mean.
It's not mean at all.
I
They
wanna
did
know
her a
where the
favor.
rest of
Thank
the
goodness
family
she
was
didn't have
sat at.
binoculars. Oh my goodness, she would have witnessed a horror show. She probably thought her son did good. I'm
Yeah,
sure
she
all the
couldn't
Chiefs
see.
fans were like, "Your son's amazing last
couldn't
night."
hear.
It was amazing. I'm so glad they put her all the way at the top. That was amazing.
No, Jordan Love didn't look prepared. And you know what? I'm going to say this. It's up to the coaching staff to get him prepared. And you know what? You could say he hasn't been getting reps, but they knew Aaron Rodgers is out with COVID. They have him for another week, probably Jordan Love for one more week. This is your time right now. He's going to get first-team reps, and you can't, like Adam said, I mean, you go up to the line of scrimmage, and you're calling protection. It's ridiculous.
I want to say something, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this is going to come across, but it's the
Probably
truth,
not well.
and it needs to be addressed. But you know what? No, seriously. Ever since Patrick Mahomes got his contract, a lot of people have changed for the worse in his circle. And it's just the reality. His wife has become one of the most annoying people you can find on social media. Wait, here, let me finish.
Okay.
I'm being serious. Like, this is a problem.
But that's affecting his
And I
play,
would-
you think?
Yes,
I
I think.
don't
Look,
think so.
if I go home every day and my wife is very annoying, entitled, and my brother is literally a hooligan, embarrassing himself on social media every day, and like these are the people I'm with every day of my life, yeah, it's gonna affect me. I'm not saying it totally means I'm a bad quarterback anymore. No, but like it does affect him. It does. And I think the people around him are really making it even more difficult for him. Like when I have a bad day at the office, I want to go home and like have comfort. Not, oh, what'd you do on social media today? Or hey, what new product did you sponsor on your social media? I don't care. Like, what about me?
What about me?
Ever since he got his money and he's been the greatest thing since sliced bread, all his wife and brother have done is benefit off of him, and it's honestly really annoying.
It's
really annoying to watch. So I hope somebody gets in his ear.
Well, yeah, she ain't no Kelly Stafford. We'll just agree.
Not yet. She's on pace.
Well,
Probably
I'm
to
saying,
be worse.
Kelly didn't know.
Kelly was not as bad
problematic.
as people. Look, Kelly was annoying. Don't get me wrong.
I'm saying she's not Kelly Stafford. Like, Kelly Stafford's a great wife, in my opinion. I mean, you can say all the analytics, but she...
To an extent. But no, look, I don't even want to talk about Matthew Stafford and his wife. Let's, not even go here. The point is...
Cutest kids of all time, by the way. Shout out to the
talking about
Staffords.
Patrick Mahomes
Those
and
kids
his wife, though.
Well,
angels.
Mahomes' wife, honestly, and his brother are really toxic.
Yeah.
And that's just from a far point of view.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. But you know what? It's so damn obvious. It's so obvious. Like, and you can't remove all the toxic people in your life. Sometimes they are family, and you got to deal with it. But you got to put them in check, and you got to control your environment. If you're coming home every day and all you're hearing about is some stupid TikTok dance while you're trying to eat a nacho, I mean, I can't. There's clear
That's the
problems.
thing. It's like he'll just
these
be
are real.
sitting. They just throw him in the background of all of their videos
It's
while he's like
embarrassing.
eating at dinner, and they're like doing a TikTok dance, and he just looks so depressed.
It's literally.
Are you gonna say dehumanizing?
Yeah, it's dehumanizing. I swear. I really feel
he
for
does
this guy.
kind of look like a caged
I'm not
zoo
joking.
animal
Look,
in their,
I'm being
their
so
poor
honest,
videos.
guys, and maybe it's easy for me to say this, but I just think differently on a lot of things.
No, you're
if
right.
That was my brother.
Smack him upside the head.
Not even. Like, I would really, really have a very difficult conversation with him. Wait. I earned $400 million. Not my wife and not my brother. I did. Okay? My parents helped me get there. Not my wife, not my brother. My parents took me to practice all my childhood. My father, my mother. That's who. I owe nothing to my brother and my wife, and that's the freaking truth. I earned that money. And if you guys want to suck me off and take me dry for everything I have, be my guest.
Ugh.
But do me a favor, don't do it publicly. You want money behind my back? You want me to help you get deals? Sure. But do me a favor, don't embarrass me in public, because I already have enough stress on my plate. I am the CEO of an NFL franchise. And they're paying me damn near $40 million a year for the next 10 years. Can you just shut the hell up and not ruin this for me? Can you stop embarrassing me? His brother is the absolute worst.
Yeah.
That, I'm the quarterback. Who the hell are you, a TikToker? That's what you want to be known for the rest of your life? How about you go open up a business? How about you go pursue your dream? Oh, you want to be a social media influencer? That's your dream? That's your goal in life?
That's a lot of people's dreams.
That's embarrassing.
This day.
That's very unstable mentally, and that's why they are what they are. And that's why his wife is the way she is. And that's why his brother is the way he is. Because they want this social media. Why do you want social media attention? Why? It's so toxic.
People love it.
It's horrible. Honestly. If I can go the rest of my career and everyone leave me the hell alone on social media.
You love Twitter fights.
Not really.
Don't even.
Not really. Look,
I mean, saw them all weekend.
Before I ever started sitting up here, you can go look back. There's not a single
No,
tweet,
I know.
Instagram post, Facebook post, nothing. I'm not a guy that likes to share my life on social media. I'm just not. Now, given the line of work I'm in right now, absolutely. I will talk about sports on social media. That's about it. I'm not going to sit up there and do something stupid that's going to jeopardize the people I care about.
But I will say this. People in the chat make a good point, I actually forgot about it. Kelly Stafford used to go on social media. She's all on her social media, just kind of exacerbating problems and kind of talking about different things. Patrick Mahomes' wife and brother are very cringy and annoying.
Okay.
But what if she get? What if
Kelly Stafford dealt with what? Hear me out. Dealt with what? What fan base?
Well, of course it's the Lions.
Hear me out. When prior to your husband ever showing up to this franchise, you guys had nothing. And then he got there and you still had nothing? I mean, it's funny. Now, again, she's very annoying, and I didn't enjoy her time in Detroit here at all. At all. But she's also a very good human.
Yeah.
Charitable events. She actually came to Woodward Sports and dropped off a truckload of toys for our charity drive. She's a good person. They're good people. The Staffords are good people. Patrick Mahomes' brother and wife.
Yeah, I see. What
I
you're saying.
cannot say the same.
Yeah, I can see.
So
what you're
do me
saying.
a favor, don't compare the two guys. It's a really bad example. It really is. It really is.
Okay, let's get back on track of the games that happened this weekend. Chargers just squeaking by the Eagles, of all teams. We know what that's like. We didn't squeak by them, though. We got destroyed. But the Chargers just squeaked by 27-24, Adam.
Go Herbert!
It's Justin Herbert.
No, they look good. Good bounce back game. They had a bye week. They lost to New England. You couldn't afford to lose to Philly.
Yeah.
They played pretty well. Defense was suspect. I think the Chargers' defense has really regressed the last 3-4 weeks. They got to get better. Brandon Staley came with a defensive background to an extent. Had the LA Rams playing at the #1 level last year.
Yep.
He's got to get this team defensively playing better if they want to win anything significant this year. And let's be honest, the AFC West is looking very difficult right now. You've got the Broncos 5-4. You've got the Chargers 5-3. You've got the Raiders 5-3, and now the Chiefs 5-4. So a lot of work to do ahead for the Chargers, but good win.
Yeah, it's a great win. This is probably one of my favorite games to watch this weekend on Sunday. A very close game, in a game that I'm glad the Eagles are finally getting the hint. They're running the football a whole lot more, and it must have ignited it against the Lions. 2 different guys had 2+ touchdowns, but other than that, this week they had 3 different running backs with 10+ carries, or 2 for that matter. Jalen Hurts is basically their RB3. But you know what? It was a great game. Justin Herbert played back to the level we expect Justin Herbert to play. 32 for 38, almost 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, this guy's a solid MVP candidate if they're winning games. I mean, he's that special. And defensively, to your point, they were so good to start the season for the first couple games. Obviously, they played the Cowboys close. They lost, but they're a very good defense, and they just fell short to the Eagles. Eagles couldn't replicate what they did against the Lions, which a lot of teams can't. But it was a great game, man. The Chargers are still legit.
If there's one thing I'm rooting for, it's for this Chiefs dynasty to fall apart. That way I can blame it on Patrick Mahomes' brother and his wife. That would be epic. Imagine like 30 years from now. Hey, remember Patrick Mahomes? Man, poor kid. His career went to a waste. Chiefs were never the same after he married his wife. What a storyline that would be.
And his brother was dancing on TikTok.
What a story that would be. Oh, my goodness. Kennedy.
All right. On that note, we will go to break. When we come back, we're talking Pistons and Red Wings, so get excited for that. But first, Jeff, where do you get your hair done?
Well, listen, whenever I need a haircut, well, people at Lady Jane's take care of me, and I know they can take care of a lot of people in this chat. If you guys need a haircut, listen, they're open 7 days a week. They're open 10 to 8. And you can walk in any time because you go in, you walk in, you sign in, you sit down, you get to sit in one of their comfy chairs. Lovely ladies take care of you, take care of your hair, line up your beard, you walk out, you're a whole new person. So come into Lady Jane's. They're open 7 days a week, 10 to 8. And you walk in any time because they're wicked awesome.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You're tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Adam, you're distracting me. All right, I want to start with the game that's freshest in our minds. Let's start with the Red Wings. They were able to win against the Vegas Golden Knights last night, 5-2. Everything felt like it was back to normal. We saw Captain Dylan Larkin back in action. The team looked gelled together. I think he's more pivotal to this team than we ever thought. It's clicking with me now because there was a lot of conversation about him maybe not being that great of a leader, yada, yada, yada. People weren't really sold on the Larkin captain deal for a while. I think I'm sold now, especially with Bertuzzi and things. Unfortunately, he was going through a family emergency is what he said. He wants everyone to respect his privacy, so hoping everything is okay there, but that's why he had stepped away for a while. But yeah, they looked complete last night. 10 players racked up some points. It was a great way to start off their 4-game homestead that they're starting off now. So Adam, your thoughts on the Wings last night?
You know, I know it's probably common or polite to give Dylan Larkin credit, but there's only one person I want to talk about.
And I think I know who it is.
Lucas Raymond.
Oh, well, yeah, he definitely is.
No, this is like Detroit. I don't think you understand. You have not just something.
Got a stud.
You have something extremely special. Lucas Raymond, a fall to you, what, at 4?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
The kid looks like a 50-goal-a-year scorer. He just does. Look how he takes his one-timers. Look how he finishes on the power play. Kind of reminds me of a young Alex Ovechkin. This kid's going for 30, 35 goals this year. This is unbelievable. I am so excited to be watching this kid every single day. Anytime there's a Wings game, it's must watch for me because of this kid. Now I know Sider had the winning goal over the weekend. A lot of good things happened over the weekend for the Wings, but still, for me, Lucas Raymond. Oh my goodness, Rookie of the Year so far, Calder winner I should say, but still, my goodness, so proud of him. So happy with Steve Yzerman and the job he's done to give this team the talent and the young core it has now. It's so fun to watch. And all you can do is just sit back and enjoy and watch. And I'm telling you right now, number 23 is special. And he's not just special like, oh, he's going to be a good player in the league. I'm talking Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Steven Stamkos special. That's the kind of special we're talking about.
Yep.
We're talking about a 90 to 110 point a year guy in the near future. Buckle up, Detroit. You got something special. Enjoy.
Raymond over the weekend had a good weekend. What do you have? 3 assists at Buffalo. The game winner by Mo Sider in overtime. Your rookies showed up in that game. Although Lucas Raymond, 6 shots, didn't get a goal, he still finds other ways to get involved. 3 assists. Then they have the Vegas Golden Knights at home. They win 5-2. Grice had an amazing performance. Larkin hasn't been playing well, but one guy I do want to talk about, Lucas Raymond, and you can talk about the rookies and how magnificent they're playing. Bertuzzi, Tyler Bertuzzi, he is the MVP right now of this team because when he's not on the floor, you saw they were at Montreal, on the ice rather, same thing, on the ice, on the field, on the floor, same thing. You saw them at Montreal, they lose 3-0, no Larkin, no Tyler Bertuzzi, obviously because of the vaccine. Look at them the last 2 games. With Tyler Bertuzzi, they beat, in overtime in Buffalo. They come home, they beat a good Vegas Golden Knights team. Tyler Bertuzzi's special. He's leading this team in goals, 9 goals, 8 assists. What does he have on the season? He's spectacular. So the 3 of Tyler Bertuzzi, got Lucas Raymond, who's a stud. I mean, we said before the season, he's probably going to have any upwards of 25 to 30 goals. He might clear that this year. Mo Sider got his first goal. Game winner against Buffalo. You can't ask for anything, better than what you've seen out of the Red Wings. I mean, they had a great weekend. Obviously, great time for a Lions fan. You have a bye week. You get to watch the Red Wings get 2 wins. The Pistons lose a very close game against the Nets, which we'll get into in a little bit. But the Red Wings, man, you got to be happy. Dylan Larkin, I'm not going to say anything about call him a bad leader, whatever the case may be. I just think the Wings as a team, they're solid. They got a lot of guys who can get goals, and it starts with Lucas Raymond, Bertuzzi, obviously Mo Sider on the defensive side, and obviously Dylan Larkin. So I love what I saw of the Wings, man. It was a great weekend. 2-0. You can't ask for anything better. You can't.
Look, the wins are a bonus, but when you get Raymond scoring on night to night, Sider doing well, they lead all of the NHL in scoring as rookies. They're first and second. It's absolutely phenomenal. I honestly, just the city of Detroit, we complain a lot in the city about sports teams over the last 7, 8, 10 years, just in general, but my goodness, Steve Yzerman, thank you. Thank you. If I got to deal with the Lions for another 10, 15 years of being absolute garbage, and I got to deal with the Pistons maybe not figuring it out, or the Tigers maybe blowing it out. I don't know, but at least I have the Wings. And the Red Wings are what we call a real organization. That's how you operate. That's how you operate. Fun fact in the chat. Oh. I actually can't believe this. The last Red Wings player to score 35-plus goals in a single season was Marian Hossa, 08-09.
I loved
that was
Hossa.
Such a deadly line, but I can't believe it. Wow. That is true, though. Unbelievable. I can't believe that. 14 years without one player having 35. Bet you any money Raymond does it.
You're going to do it the next year or two, definitely.
I bet you any money Raymond does it this year. I mean, he's a focal point on the power play. The kid's getting 9 to 12 power play goals this year.
Yep.
Minimum. I'm in love with the kid. So excited about it. Kennedy.
All right, I want to pivot to the Pistons. On Friday night, they took on the Nets, so we didn't get to cover it. The last time they played the Nets, let me remind you, they lost 117-91. A little bit closer this time. Still took the L, 96-90. Jeff, your thoughts on this Pistons team?
Well, this time they had Kate Cunningham at home against a Brooklyn Nets team who I will say right now is the best team in the East. And Miami record-wise maybe, but on paper I still believe Brooklyn's a team to come out of the East, especially that way Milwaukee's looking. But it was a great loss. I mean, you got to take some positives away. They held the Brooklyn Nets to 96. Sadiq Bey did a great job defending James Harden, had 4 steals. James Harden shot 3 for 10. So he did a great job on James Harden. But overall, you got to look at the Pistons from this aspect. I mean, Jeremy Grant didn't score a single field goal. He was 0 for 9, 0 for 4 from 3.
Don't say that.
No, but listen.
No, don't say that.
But listen, this is what's important.
No, stop.
Okay.
Don't say that shit. Fish, you can. That's $2 in the swear jar today. Jeremy Grant is a superstar. Stop it. He's an all-star.
I'm talking to Pistons Twitter right now. IRL. No, but listen, Jeremy Grant, 0 for 9, didn't make a single field goal, and you lose by 6 to a very good Brooklyn Nets team. I would say, the Brooklyn Nets against the Detroit Pistons, they are now 2-1 because Isaiah Stewart's 1-0 against Blake Griffin. You saw what happened on the floor, standing over that man like he was his son. But other than that, you could take a lot of things away. Cade Cunningham stayed aggressive, 6 for 17, 3 for 7 from 3. Every game he's going to get better. He's going to get slowly better. He's kind of getting his legs under him. He stepped up to the challenge. The toughest matchup for him early in the season, he excels. That's what you want to see out of your number 1 overall pick. Big games, big moments. He shows up. He took it to KD a couple times, took him right to the rack. That's what you want to see out of your number 1 overall pick. But I thought the Pistons, although they're 1-8, it's kind of like last year, resemblance, a team that's going to lose a lot of games, probably be top 5, top 3 in the lottery. But you know what? They're going to compete every night and give every team a run for their money. So we'll see if they can string some wins late in the season. I still think they get over 25. But Cade Cunningham looked good, and I think he'll look even better come the next couple games. He won't have 6 turnovers, in the next string of games. He'll be okay. So that's what you take away.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I think where my concern lies isn't so much in the win-loss record or how they're playing. I mean, their first 9 games have been brutal. The Nets multiple times, the Bulls multiple times, the Sixers multiple times, the Bucks, the Hawks. I mean, it's not an easy schedule, and it's not an easy way to start the year. But regardless, Wednesday night, you play on the road in Houston. That only has to be a W. Cade's got to come up. He had 17 points in the last game, or 18 points, I believe he played. Cade needs time. Watch Cade develop, but really, Dwayne Casey, you got to get this team playing good basketball. They're very dysfunctional on offense. They just are. So you got to get it right, Jeff. You do.
No, and you're right.
It's too early to judge, yes, to be fair. But you got to get this team going, and I think Jeremy Grant, more and more every day, it becomes more clear to me on how right I am that they need to change, they need to trade him. That's the reality. You trade him before the deadline, send him off to a contending team, take a first-round pick or 2, and goodbye. It's that simple. You don't need Jeremy Grant. You're not getting anywhere the next 2-3 years. By year 4 of Cade Cunningham, you'll probably be getting into the second round of the playoffs. Yep. Maybe. That's if everything really goes well. So that's that.
The only positive thing I can really take away from the Pistons, they're 1-8, they're top 15 in defense. That's Dwayne Casey. I mean, that's his resume. You've got a team that's going to play hard. They're going to be, a top in defense. Offensively, though, to your point, they have to figure it out. I mean, their number 1 overall pick's getting his legs under him, so there's a lot of things this team's going to have to figure out. But if they're not competitive at all, I don't see why you don't trade Jeremy Grant. Get assets for him, because a guy who's going to be 30 in a couple years is not going to help this team if you're not going to be ready to compete for 2 years. So I see your point. So we'll see what Troy Weaver does.
The over-under going into the year was set at 25. Yep. I still think they get the over. Tough start to the year. Cade now trying to find his mojo. I think you have time. And again, are you expecting this team to be a playoff team? No, but they are in the East.
Yep.
And you kind of expect them to be somewhere around that bubble. And I think 28 to 32 wins is pretty fair. I really do. I think they can hit the over comfortably. Now, they've had a rough start, and they're going to have to start winning games. But, hey, we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the season. But like I said, anytime there's a Red Wings game, you guys know what I'll be doing that night.
Betting the over.
Betting the over and watching Lucas Raymond. That overbet has worked for me this year, and it also has really bit me in the butt.
Yeah. It's the same storyline all year for the Pistons.
I still can't believe that Lightning
So
game.
frustrating, but regardless, we got to hit the break.
We do, which means we need to hear about our friends over at Gypsy Vodka. When we come back, these two will be giving you their top 10 college football playoff teams. I'm very excited because Adam will be forced to admit that Notre Dame deserves to be in the top 10. But first,
go Irish!
Our friends at Gypsy Vodka.
Well, guys, if you're a Notre Dame fan, you need a lot of Gypsy Vodka. Why? Because you need to drink yourself probably to death.
No, chill out.
No, I'm sorry. I hate Notre Dame. So let me just get that out of the way. Back to what's really important is our good friends at Gypsy Vodka. They sponsored our Michigan State tailgate and our broadcast at the Hopcat in East Lansing. It was a great time. Both owners, fun fact, are Michigan State alumni, twin brothers, Adam and Mike. We really appreciate what you guys did for us that weekend. Try a bottle today and drink responsibly. Of course, again, that's Gypsy Vodka. May I remind you, please drink responsibly.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out with us right here on the Morning Woodward Show on this beautiful Monday morning. All right, I cannot wait for these guys' top 10 college teams. Jeff, let's start with you at number 10.
I mean, they're 8-1. They're a great football team, and there's other teams that you're going to see. I moved around compared to the AP Top 25. I just did not agree with. But one thing I will agree with is Oklahoma State at 10. I mean, they've been playing good football. They deserve to be in the top 10. You could argue, there's the Wake Forests of the world, the Texas A&Ms, but Oklahoma State's been better. They're 8-1, so they deserve to be there. So I have Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State number 10?
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's buckle up now. All right, number 10 in my college football playoff rankings, which is what I think the committee should do. We're going to put Cincinnati.
Okay.
Cincinnati should fall from 6 to 10. You barely beat Tulsa. Honestly, they're a dumb decision from their quarterback away from probably tying that ball game up. You can't. When you schedule the schedule that Cincinnati has, you have to win with style points. You just do. You did this to yourself. When you play on the road to Nebraska or on the road to Purdue, you don't have to do that all the time. Wins count. But when you're playing Tulsa at home and you win by 8 and you give up a fumble near the end of the game and then you get a goal line stand, congratulations.
Go Bearcats!
Bearcats suck. And the only reason they're in the top 10 right now is because this committee overrates them, in my opinion. I would take probably 3 or 4 teams that are not in the top 10 over this team, but regardless. Number 9, a team that I think took a big jump up in the polls this weekend, beat number 13 Auburn. That's Texas A&M, in my opinion. They should be number 9 in tonight's college football playoff ranking edition.
My number 9 team, and this is the 8 and 9. I mean, you can switch them how you want, but at the end of the day, Cincinnati did beat them, is Notre Dame. And you could argue a lot of bad things and probably argue them outside of the top 10. But you know what? They have one loss. They're a good football team, and not a good football team compared to others in the top 10. But if you're going to drop them down to top 15, top 20, you're going to probably lose that argument. But
who?
Notre Dame. I mean, if you're dropping them, a top 15?
They were top 10 last week in the poll. I didn't agree with it, and then they come out and they dominate Navy. Congratulations! But
the wins.
The committee has them at 10. What do I do? I can't take them out of them. I know what the committee's going to do. Now, what I think they should do? Well, honestly, Notre Dame probably 9 or 8, realistically.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati at 10. I think Cincinnati is worse than we thought.
Yeah, they are bad. And you know what? That's what gets me. I have 9 in Notre Dame. I have 8 Cincinnati. And the only reason why I have them at 8 is because they beat Notre Dame and they're undefeated. It's hard for me to put them behind teams that have losses just because that's how it works. They're a bad football team, but at the end of the day, they deserve to be in the top 10. They haven't lost, even though they're close. They're very close. They're going to have a loss in the next couple weeks. I don't know how hard they can sustain this, or how long, rather. But Cincinnati is number 8 for me. I don't know if they deserve it, but it's where I'm ranking them.
Number 8, I've got Notre Dame. Notre Dame,
Let's
Kennedy
go
Broadwell.
Irish! Woo!
They move up from 10 to 8, in my opinion. I don't think this is the week for me to try and make an argument against Notre Dame. They beat Navy. The committee has them at 10. They're probably going to move up a little bit. I think Notre Dame should be over Cincinnati, even with the head-to-head loss. I'm not a fan of Cincinnati. You guys can keep talking to me about Cincinnati.
Who's talking to you about Cincinnati?
What do you mean? This whole conversation of should they be in the top 4? They're being robbed. Oh my goodness!
No,
that's not happening in this room.
No, not in this room. You'd be amazed everywhere else. Number 7.
Number 7, Michigan.
Okay, there we go. We agree.
Yeah, Michigan. Some people had them above Michigan State. I don't know how you can have them ranked above Michigan State just because they lose to Purdue and they beat you head to head. Michigan is number 7 for me. They completely obliterated a bad Indiana team. We'll see what they do against Penn State, but right now they're 7 for me.
All right, this was difficult for me because at number 7, honestly, I did want to drop State to 7, but I thought about it long and hard, and I think I can put myself in a position where I don't have to overreact to 1 week, and I don't want to do that. So, knowing that Michigan travel to Penn State, they can prove me wrong or right.
Yep.
And if they win, then they can jump over Michigan State, even if State wins against Maryland. Doesn't matter for me.
Yeah.
So, Michigan's got to prove it. Having said that, I've got Michigan at 7 and Michigan State at 6. Do you agree?
Yep, I got them as well.
Okay, cool. So let's go into our top 5. This is where things get interesting.
All right.
I'm going to read off my top 5, and then I want you to read off yours. Be my guest. I will start number 5, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, bye week this week. They didn't play a game.
That's
but
where I have Oklahoma.
They're going to move up. They're going to be at 5. I'm going to have Ohio State at number 4. Alabama at number 3. Oregon at number 2. Impressive win on the road against Washington.
Okay.
And then, of course, the best team in college football, Georgia, remaining at number 1.
I have Oklahoma at 5, Ohio State at 4, Oregon at 3, and then Alabama, Georgia at 2 and 1. The only reason why Oregon, I love that. I love that. It took you took some kahunas to put them up in that top 2. You have them number 2. Damn, that's some big kahunas you had to do.
Well, they won on the road against Washington.
No, it's a big win.
No,
but over
circumstances, Alabama barely beat LSU, and LSU, Bama didn't look good. It's probably their worst roster in the last 10 years, and they're still 8-1. I mean, it's just Bama. Bama are going to be fine. They're going to be there at the end of the year, but I'm going to give Oregon their props. And what does it matter if I have them 2 or 3? They're going to play each other
The big one I got to say is, but we both mutually agreed on Oklahoma at, 5? So...
Yeah. And again, Oklahoma, cool. I think, are frauds. I think they're going to lose in the next couple weeks.
Defensively, they're getting exposed every week.
Defensively, but even offensively, they struggled against Kansas.
Yeah.
I just don't like this. I think the number 4 spot, I think the top 4 is likely how it stays for the rest of the year unless Ohio State loses to Michigan or Michigan State. I think that's your top 4. I think Cincinnati shouldn't be in the top 4. Notre Dame shouldn't. A&M shouldn't. State, Michigan, depending on how they handle their business. Oklahoma, I could make the argument, if they're an undefeated Big 12 team, I keep them out. If the other teams run the table, I'm keeping Oklahoma out. They haven't been impressive enough.
Yeah.
And when you play a pancake schedule like Cincinnati, like Oklahoma, and you struggle, you get punished even if you win.
Yep.
That's college football. And that's what happens when you're not in a legitimate conference. Sorry.
Tell that to Cincinnati.
Kennedy, Notre Dame, Cincinnati, what do you got for me?
What do you mean? Well, we already lost to Cincinnati, but...
Do you think you should be higher than Cincinnati in the rankings
Yeah.
like I had them?
I do.
Okay, and do you think Notre Dame is actually a top 4 playoff team this year or no?
Top 4? No.
Well, they got to finish top 4 to be in the playoffs. I'm asking you.
Oh, no. I don't.
All right, well, at least somebody here is realistic.
But I do think they're higher than 8.
No, they're not. They're definitely not.
They're definitely
they
higher
would get
than
murdered
10.
by every team ahead of them by 20
That
or 30.
is not true.
The question is if they're higher, who are they above?
They're not higher than Michigan.
Who are they above?
They chickened out on that game a long time ago. They stopped playing that football
Their
game.
first game...
The last time they played Michigan, they lost by 31.
Yeah, I would
you
take
can't say that they're hiding from everyone. Next year, their first game of the season is against Ohio State.
OH!
Talk about kahunas.
Talk about kahunas.
Wow, a neutral site game against
kahunas.
Ohio State, where even if you lose it and you run the table the rest of the way, people will say, well, that's a good loss to Ohio State. Wow,
true.
and then you're going to play Navy, Army, the Air Force. Hell, you're going to play the Navy SEALs at this point. Play everybody. Freaking joke. Notre Dame. Well, losers.
I'm going to be crying and throwing up during
You look
that
at Notre
game
Dame's
next year.
record. They're 57-8 over the last I don't know how many years.
They're playing Pee-wee football.
They're playing nobodies.
Brian
And then when they
Kelly's
play
got
good
us
teams, they
covered.
get smoked.
They're smoking.
Go join a damn conference already, but you can't because you got the NBC Peacock money.
Well,
I
they
know.
can. They don't want to. They don't need to.
They're losers, Fish. They're losers. Just
Fish?
like Cincinnati
Tell
are
that to all the
losers.
Notre Dame fans that rest their soul on their team.
Notre Dame sucks. All right?
Okay. Have they made a college football playoffs, which Michigan has not?
He's got a point.
Just saying.
Well, yeah. Give Michigan Notre Dame
Facts.
schedule all those years, and I guarantee you Michigan would have made 2 or 3.
No.
And Michigan State would have made 2 or 3.
Notre
and Ohio
Dame-
State would have been there every single year.
They don't have that big brother. They don't have a conference.
don't have anything.
They don't have anything. Yeah, they don't have
Come on.
the Ohio States of the
we're,
world.
we're rewarding Notre
We play
Dame.
USC
for-
every year. We play
Stanford, which those are sometimes tough games.
Sometimes, wow.
You can't say sometimes, Fish.
Fish,
Well,
gave up
okay,
your argument.
Fish
What do
tries
you
so
want?
hard to
I
back
know.
me
Fish,
on the
you-
Irish and then
they are
says
hard
this
games
stuff.
at times.
Fish, you gotta say they play tough games. Because if you say,
Look,
well, they play
guys,
tough games
hear
at
me out.
times.
But
I
they
moved them
beat
up.
them. They beat them though. It doesn't matter when they play tough teams because they
Guys, hear
beat them
me out.
every year. They beat USC. They beat Stanford. They
Guys,
beat
can you-
Navy.
can you hear me out a
That's
little bit?
3
I'm
wins
gonna be-
that they
I'm gonna
beat
be
good
reasonable
teams.
with
All
you.
right, Fish.
I'm going
Let
to be
him talk.
reasonable with Notre Dame fans. This year, I will say this, though. Outside the Cincy game, all right? They struggled really early on. They didn't
Yeah.
look good at all. But since they I should say barely beat Toledo.
We don't bring it up.
Dominated Purdue, dominated Wisconsin, lost to Cincy, barely beat Virginia Tech, dominated USC, dominated North Carolina, who just upset Wake Forest.
Yep.
And they just dumped Navy, whatever. But still, there are games on the schedule where I could make the argument a one-loss Notre Dame team probably finishes 5th or 6th in the polls this year.
I'm
But I don't
good
put
with
them
that.
in the top 4 over a 2-loss Big Ten team or a 1-loss
I didn't
Pac-12
either.
team. Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, going forward.
Okay.
That's why I moved them up. I have to be fair. I can talk all the crap I want. But you know what? I got to be fair with them. They move up to 8 this week. That's what I think the committee should do.
I'll
Fair?
take it. I'll take it.
Are we okay with this?
Fish
Yes.
is applauding, so he gives you some credit.
All right. Fish and I, moron, just said UT stinks, go Falcons. I agree.
Who?
Fish and I, moron, in the
That's
chat.
the University of Toledo.
Yeah.
UT.
Fish
University
and I are
of
going
Toledo.
to see all the action on Wednesday,
Thanks
so
for understanding Maction football.
we will report back with the
You must be such
UTBG
a
game.
prestigious program when you schedule the MACtion on your whatever.
Michigan's done the same thing. They've scheduled 3 or 4 MAC teams
When?
in the past couple years.
The MACtion's
Western
legit.
Michigan,
Toledo?
Toledo, they always play MACtion. And Michigan fans want to say, we should
can't
rank
do
very
this.
high.
Yeah, but the problem is Michigan scheduled them early on in the year before their Big Ten scheduled. Notre Dame scheduled them because that's all they can play.
The entirety of the
Like,
year.
come on. My goodness.
All right. On that note, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we will preview this upcoming Monday Night Football game for you. After the break, we will talk about it all.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for sticking around with us right here on the Morning Woodward Show. Like I said, we are previewing tonight's Monday Night Football game. We've got Bears at the Steelers. 2 very shaky quarterbacks facing off against each other. Jeff, who do you have tonight and why?
Well, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning. Obviously, it's in Pittsburgh. Big test for Justin Fields, rookie quarterback. Hasn't been playing great football up until last week. Played a good game. But now he takes on Pittsburgh, who you could say what you want about Ben Roethlisberger. I think they're just a better team than the Chicago Bears right now. Najee, as much as I don't want him to go off, I'm facing Adam in fantasy. That's our last player of the entire match, and I'm up 20. I think Najee beats me. I think he does. I think he has a terrific game against the Bears, and they ride him all the way to victory, but he does. And, Deontay Johnson is going to go off as well. So, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers get it done. If you look at the teams, if you look at the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, and the Bengals, The Bengals have looked so bad over the last couple of weeks. I don't know what's wrong with Zach Taylor and the Bengals. We got to have a whole show topic on that. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are rising back up, and they could go to 5-3 with a chance to take on the Lions next week. They could go to 6-3 easily. So the Steelers are still in it. I don't know. They're frauds, in my opinion, even if they make the playoffs, a wild card spot. But it is what it is. It's going to be a good game tonight. I mean, I'm going to be paying attention to Justin Fields, just like I was Jordan Love. These guys are in our division, and it's going to be a good measure for Justin Fields. Monday Night Football game, big game against Mike Tomlin. So we'll see what he does, but I have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this game, Adam. I'll say 24-14. I think they get it done.
Oof, you're underselling one, Pittsburgh defense, and two, the situation. Monday Night Football on the road for Justin Fields, primetime game on the road in Pittsburgh.
It's a big one.
This is going to be tough for him. Going against one of the better defenses in the NFL. Good luck. And give me the Steelers. My score prediction, 34-13. They totally dominate this game. Justin Fields, multiple interceptions. They're not going to be able to get the run game going, which means Fields is going to have to drop back 25-plus times. And right now, it's not going to end well. It's just not going to end well tonight. Tonight's going to be an ugly game. I think the Steelers really put it on the Bears tonight. Steelers would improve, I believe, to what? 5-3?
They're 5-3 right now.
No, they're 4-3, aren't they?
No, 4-3. About to be 5-3 if they win. Yep.
So they'll improve to 5-3.
Could go 6-3.
They'll be looking good in the division. Then they have Detroit next week. We talk narrative all the time. This is a narrative game. I don't call it a trap game. I call it a narrative game. Why? You have to win this football game, Pittsburgh. You cannot afford to go 1-1 in a 2-week stretch where you play Chicago Bears at home and, I believe, home to the Detroit Lions. That is unacceptable. Can't happen. Can't afford it. Nope. Even on a short week, it can't happen. So we talk about narrative a lot on this show. This is a narrative game.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin never had a losing record.
Coming off bye week,
yep.
I expect the Steelers to be sharp, and I expect them to dominate the Chicago Bears. I think it's a very easy game. Najee runs for over 125 yards. I think they control the time of possession. Give me the Steelers all day in a blowout.
Okay.
Kennedy, Justin Fields, Pittsburgh. Give me a score prediction, Kennedy. You're not. Don't tell me you're going to pick the Bears.
I'm not sold on this game either way. I think maybe the Bears take one on the road. Why not? I'll say that. I'll be different. I'll say that the Bears will win 2017 over the Steelers. That's what I'm saying. I think Big Ben will have another bad game. He'll chuck another ball into the ground. And, yeah, that's my prediction for tonight's game. But we shall see. But, boys, you've had a very intense fantasy football going on.
Yeah, we
inform the people, because obviously Adam may or may not have to take a pie to the face. Jeff may or may not have to take a pie to the face. What is the prediction so far?
So here's what's going on right now. Me and Jeff, obviously, we're at the top of our divisions. I'm 7-1. He's 6-2 heading into the week. It's been a very close game. A lot of our players underperformed. Is that fair to say? I mean, we have very good teams. I'll read off the list.
That's like an
now.
Understatement to say our players
extremely underperformed. So I'll read off the list for you guys, and you kind of give me your feedback. So Jeff's quarterback, Matthew Stafford. My quarterback, Josh Allen. On any given week, you'd expect 20 to 30 points.
Yeah.
This week, they got a combined 22 together.
It was bad.
Austin Eckler, 11 points. Josh Jacobs, 13 points. Devontae Adams, 10 points. Adam Thielen, 8 points. Mark Andrews, 9 points. I mean, Jeff's team completely...
Booker was my best player.
Booker was your best player with 15.
Defense got a 0.
Your defense got you a donut. My New England defense got me 19, so I'm proud of that. Yeah. Rashad Bateman got me 10 at the flex. Gesicki, 9 points. CeeDee Lamb, stud wide receiver, only got me 4.
Tyreek Hill was
got
a big
me 7.
one. Yeah, he got you 7.
Carlos Hyde got me 6. That fumble cost me big. I left Devontae Smith on the bench. And then, of course, we have Najee Harris, my dear friend, going tonight. I am down exactly, what's the word I'm looking for here?
It's 19, I think.
19.9 points.
You're going to get it.
I need 19.91. He's projected 21 points.
Yeah.
But, hey, you never know. Any given night, right?
I need this man to...
You need to
break his leg, I think.
No, we don't need that.
Break his leg.
Listen, if I
don't
lose
break
tonight,
a leg, Najee. Literally.
I hate people like you. Look, I don't mind losing, but Najee cannot get hurt. All right, I don't mind if he just has a bad night and they shut him down.
Because you're screwed for other weeks.
Yeah, don't you dare
I can't
put
do that to you.
If you put that on me, you're not getting a pie to the face. You're getting a bat to the face.
No,
you already put it on yourself. If Najee Harris gets hurt tonight, I'm walking in with a bat on Tuesday morning.
Just pounding.
Fish
That's
is gonna
tomorrow.
put pie in
Pounding
my
the hand
face.
with a bat.
Fish will put pie in my face, and I'm putting a bat in your face, and you're gonna lose like 8 teeth. I'm telling you right now.
Adam's taking the belt right off his dress pants. He's just going to whip me across the face with it. So
I prefer
hopefully-
the bat.
No, honestly, I don't want either. So you know what? We'll be fine. I need my hair.
This has been such a weird week for fantasy.
It sucks.
It's been weird.
And for just the NFL in general. So many underdogs won over the weekend. Low-scoring games. Players that had abysmal performances.
I hate when these players don't think about us fantasy owners
Shut
when
up,
they're out
Kennedy.
there on the field. It is messed up. The only player on my team that showed up and didn't choke away their game was Nick Chubb, getting me 30-plus points. And I'm still losing by a landslide. Which, I'm sorry, you're losing $20 to Alex Mayer.
And he still has 2 more
Alex
players.
He still
in
has
it,
2
too.
more players.
Yeah, he has
Wait,
2 more.
why would I lose Alex 20?
Because you bet my team to win.
Oh, yeah, that's right. God dang it, Broadwell.
You bet so much you forget your bets.
I really do. Let me see the score. What's going on here?
Yeah,
oh,
I
yeah,
have
you lost.
99.
No, you lost already.
Kennedy's
I
getting
already
record.
lost,
Yeah,
and he
she
still
lost.
has 2 more players to go in.
Oh, wow. That's embarrassing.
What's Alex's
10
record?
Oh, you started Chase Edmonds, you dum-dum?
I don't know.
Oh, man. Kennedy, this is really bad.
I just traded him away to Easy, actually, so.
All right, well,
Bye, Chase Edmonds. You
16
suck.
went off this week. Maz won. Maz beat Easy pretty badly. So Easy lost. And now it's me and Jeff remaining.
And
Wow.
well, aren't we like the lowest scores in the
Me,
one of
our
the
game
I'm
is
league?
the
so
lowest in the
mad.
league.
Dabber keeps saying in the chat, AP won my week for me. Let's go. Maz wouldn't give me AP, and did he even play him? Did
No.
he even use him this week? I'm fighting him when he comes into this office. Anyway.
He doesn't have to trade you.
It's not hard
He
to
does.
fight him. All you
He
have to do is
doesn't.
steal
When
his
I
chair.
asked nicely, I should get what I want.
No.
And I said, Maz,
That's
please.
not how life works. Well, to Vinny's point, life could be worse. You could be Patrick Mahomes.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
No, I'm spinning off of his words.
Oh.
I'd rather lose in fantasy than have his wife as a wife and his brother as a brother of mine. You couldn't pay me
You know
$40
what?
million a
That's-
year to deal with those two.
That's like a great life lesson right there.
I'm being
Just
serious.
perspective. Put it in perspective.
Like, if you told me I'd get $10 million a year, but I'd have to marry his wife and have his brother as my sibling who would walk around with me everywhere, I would rather be homeless. I really would. At least I would be happy. He doesn't look happy. I'm being, like, so serious right now. Patrick Mahomes, it's not that he's playing bad. He doesn't look happy. You're talking a kid who's taken over the league, MVP, Super Bowl winner, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 3 straight AFC Championship appearances, and he looks miserable. That's not good. You talk about Calvin Ridley needing a mental health checkout. Patrick Mahomes is next. I'm being so serious. Watch. He's going to take a break in the offseason. I'm telling you. He doesn't look good. And how could you ever be happy? I worked so hard to pursue my dream, not only because financially it would take care of us, but because it makes me happy. And yes, I achieved this financial status. Absolutely. All of you can benefit from it. But that's not what we're family for. Family has nothing to do with money. Money helps, don't get me wrong. But believe me, when all it ever is about is me, social media, look at me, I'm dancing, look at me, I'm doing these yoga pants, I'm doing this yoga class, look at my fitness, me. I'm Patrick Mahomes' wife, look at me. I mean, that's just embarrassing. Honestly, like, I couldn't imagine being in his shoes, and I'd have to go to my wife, and all she would talk about is herself and what she's doing, and like, what? I married you, and you married me. This is a team effort. This isn't, I went and made 400 mil, and now you get to, like, just abuse everything. Like, come on. What kind of society are we living in? You're not just my wife, you're like my partner. You help me get through things. When I'm down, you pick me up. When you're down, I pick you up. It's a back and forth. It's a give and take. Not, look at me, look at his brother. Like, it's so embarrassing. You have the nerve to dump water on a Ravens fan? You're sitting out there as his wife tweeting, defending your husband? You don't need to defend your husband. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's the MVP of the league. He's made $400 million. Well, we'll make $400 million. He's fine. Believe me, he's fine. Like, this is the problem with social media today. People get so caught up in it. And they forget what life is really about. And what, like, general communication looks like. She probably tweets her husband, more than
Oh,
she talks to
God.
him. Honestly. It's so frustrating. It's sad to see. It really is.
Well, and that concludes our segment on
Dr.
marriage advice with Dr. Adam.
I'm just saying. No, honestly, that's like what I see, man. Like when
that's pretty
you're
sad.
when a large
Do you think he's
part of-
really that bothered by it?
I think so. Yeah, I would be.
I don't think so.
I would be. I'm telling you.
I think it's definitely a factor, but listen, we have never.
It's not about how
seen
he's
this.
playing. It's not about how he's playing.
What is it? How he looks?
It's how he looks. I'm telling you, he doesn't look right.
Well, he has been playing like. Excuse my. I mean, I'm not
They're
gonna say
5
it,
and
but like
4.
SHIT. He's been
They're
playing
5
like
and 4.
absolute
I'm
ass.
sure they're doing just fine in the locker room. Imagine I told you have to go home every day. Instead of going home to a relaxing, peaceful environment.
You don't know that though.
I do know.
We're
It's
not
so
going
obvious.
home with them every day. We don't know how
It's
his
so
situation
obvious,
is.
man.
But I agree, they are annoying. But
look, man.
I think
look, all I'm trying to
They're
say is that
definitely
if I was making $10 million a year, okay, let's just say I was
You
making
are. What do
$10
you
million a
mean?
year. Yeah, okay. Let's say I was making $10 million a year, and every time I got home, it's, hey, look what I'm doing. Hey, can you fund this for me? Hey, can we do this? Hey, can you get on a TikTok dance for me, Adam? Hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do all of this? Can't we just like take a break? Like, guys, we are millionaires. Can't I just come home? We light up the bonfire. We sit outside and we just talk and laugh. Remember how we used to eat Burger King in junior high? We'd
Gross.
skip lunch. Eat Burger King under the bleachers. Something.
when we weren't dancing and
I'm
doing
just-
the whoa.
No,
or,
honestly, like,
Doing
this
the
is-
whoa.
No, this is like a real problem. And, you know, you guys can, like, write it off, but I see it. The guy doesn't look right mentally. And when you have a brother that's as annoying and a wife as annoying as he has, you're only as good as your surrounding. And if I went home every day and my wife gave me problems, or she was annoying, or she was making me problems on social media, and then my other brother is just some freaking dancer spilling water on people, yeah, that would affect me. It really would. It would make me down. Like, why are you guys doing this? I became an NFL player for this. It's really sad. It really is.
All right, you guys, we have to go for the day, unfortunately, but I want to remind you guys that we do have a Lions game this week, which means we will be down at O'Toole's for the pregame, and for the post/during game, Stick and Anson will be down at the Brass Rail. All right, coming up next, Big D Energy. They'll be squad deep with D-Mac and Neil Rule. I'm sure they'll cover a lot of Red Wings for you, a lot of football. It'll be tons of fun. All right, this has been the Morning Woodward Show on Woodward Sports.